Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 Great. Okay. Yes, you can hear me. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream today. It is so good to have you here with me today on this Thursday. Yes, so we have got some crazy news that I'm going to cover today. I'm very excited to go over this extremely good news for once. But let's get the game set up and stuff here right fast. Yeah, big news. Like the biggest MMO housing news of all time. I really, yeah, it's that big. Yeah. If you haven't heard, well, you're about to heard, and it's gonna be awesome. Okay, so, but first, what I wanted to do is get somewhere cozy, like, you know, something like a house to be in. Yeah, I felt like that would be appropriate. Yeah. Hyper Bunners news. Absolutely have. Rainy Moon, hello. Good morning. I think a good place to go that's very homey is Bellameth. Bellameth is pretty homey. Yeah, we could go to Goldshire Inn. We'll get comfy. Grab yourself a refreshment. Get yourself a coffee, a beverage. Zep, I love your chill playlist. I'm glad, Deemy. That's great. Yeah, it's a nice start to the day, isn't it? Bellameth is up here. Ah. Hey, Zep. What's this about you going to Goldshire? Well, I mean, I have quests to turn in there. I've been there for quests. People, come and go from Goldshire all the time. So, it's funny story. Last night, so I'm working on my WoW video for the WoW channel that's about this news we're going to discuss today. And I was flying around here. I was doing some recording in this area just for reasons. And I went into 2 different houses in this area, and there was people role-playing in both. One of the houses that looked like normal roleplay. Okay. But in the other house, it was straight up ERP that I accidentally walked in on. And you know how you can tell it's ERP? It's 2 characters that are like, you know, like right up on each other inside of a house, like Yeah. Zep, notifications are super low. Oh my goodness, let's fix that. Let's get all our ducks in a row before we start our little chat today. Okay. Notifications. And also all music would be great. Okay. Cheek to cheek. Oh yeah. Yeah. I was very embarrassed. I did not want to walk in on them having fun, but it happened. Okay. Notifications, right. Right. I did not forget already. I remember. Do you play on Moonguard? This happened on EU. I'm on Sporigar. I do play on RP Realms, though. I like Roleplay Realms because actually, well, this is gonna sound weird after what I just said, but what I wanted to say is it's cool to see people roleplay. And I mean that genuinely, but now after what I just said, it feels like I'm a weirdo. Not like that. Not like that. Hey. We know what you mean. Okay, good. Okay, I keep forgetting what I was supposed to be doing. Twitch alerts. Twitch alerts is what we need to be on. Okay, I'm gonna do a test of the alerts. Ha 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 hee. Argent Dawn is a big European one. There's a lot of roleplay that happens throughout all the roleplay servers, honestly. Minion, thank you for the 5-month resub. Jendi, thank you for the 18-month resub. Can y'all hear that? Is that a little quiet? Is that okay? Or is it a little quiet? I can turn it up. It's a little quiet, I think. Zepla just likes to watch. Hey! No! It's a little bit quiet. Okay, that's fine. Okay, let's do another test. Test, Twitch, follow. Wow, Kevin! Thank you, Kevin. Wow, so cool, Kevin. Kevin again!
This is a subscription test.
Hell yeah. Thank you, Kevin. Alright. Zep respects privacy. Correct. Yes. Sporgar gets phased a lot into Argent Dawn. Oh, really? So we tend to see more than we should. You got that right. Mm-hmm. I was at the doing the Lunar Festival coin farm in Northern a few days ago, and at Dragonblight, the Alliance Inn, it was full of wargs and vulps from Argent Dawn doing stuff. Well, I think it makes sense to do that in Northern, right? Cool you off. Especially if you have all that fur. I ain't trying to shame. I grew up playing on ED before the roleplay died on that server. And once they phased realms, I've seen enough. You've seen some shit. I have too. So, I have amazing news to share with you today. In case you haven't heard, this is some of the best MMO news that I personally have heard in perhaps years. It is the announcement, the details about Blizzard's player housing that is coming in midnight. Let's pull this up and talk about this because you are not going to believe, you are not going to believe the level of shade that has been thrown in this post against Final Fantasy XIV. Okay, so I feel like I'm uniquely positioned to talk about this because I'm a FF14 creator and I'm now a World of Warcraft creator. So I like both games, but I have suffered and complained with the FF14 housing system um, for the past 8 years. So this really hits home. Hey, right? For me. Okay, so let me just got him. Yeah, let me just read a portion of this. I'm gonna bounce around this whole thing most likely, but the first thing I want to read to you is this. Okay, so you'll know why I said that they threw shade. As part of our focus on wide adoption, we wanted to ensure that housing is available to everyone. If you want a house, you can have a house. No exorbitant requirements or high purchase costs. No lotteries. And no onerous upkeep. And if your subscription lapses, don't worry, your house doesn't get repossessed. No. No, whatever gave you that idea? Well-deserved jab. Yes. You'll love to see it. You'll love to see it because there's the hope that this would light a fire under Square Enix's butt. But I think they won't. But still, I feel like it kind of deserve to have some competition after not changing anything about your housing system in any fundamental way for the past 10 years that it has been out. There's no catch. I was like, last night I was like, wait, where's the catch? Like, where's the monkey's paw here? But there's none. It's just, there's no FOMO with it. There's no lottery. Everybody can have a house. Here's some concept art for the Horde Zone. And I'm going to be going into this, like, in terms of the WoW aspect of it on my YouTube channel, Zepla's WoW Realm. Like, I wrote a video for that last night. I'm going to be recording it after stream today. So I'll go more into detail on all this. But you can kind of see, look, the plots. They're just like, it's very familiar if you played FF14. Yes, there are neighborhoods of about 50 plots each. And you can have public neighborhoods or private neighborhoods. So a public neighborhood where everybody just, you go in, there's a bunch of randoms around you. Or you can make a private neighborhood with your group of friends or with your guild. And you can apparently inhabit, progress, and customize together, whatever that is going to end up meaning. But I think that's really nice. Yeah, you can see this little plots, inspirational concept art for what the new Horde neighborhood could be. Now, as you can see, this looks kind of like Duratar. And they have said that the Horde zone will be inspired by the Duratar Coast, these starting zones for the Horde that most people already feel some kind of an attachment to. They said that the Alliance zone is going to be based on Westfall, on Elwyn Forest, and Duskwood. It's going to be kind of inspired by all those things. And yeah, I just think it's... Man, I was laughing my ass off yesterday to hear this. Because it's like... Yes, this is good for the player. This is good news for you, a player in the MMO space, to see them take inspiration from something that was liked but broken in a different game. Actually, this is kind of Blizzard's MO. This is what they do. This is what they're known for doing. They take something from another game and then they polish it up and make it better. And then they release it. That's what they do this all the time. Midnight, I think, is planned for the end of 2025. Here's the roadmap for, hold up, where you can see when they're planning to release the housing being this icon at the very end in autumn/early winter of 2025. And yeah, with Midnight planned for summer 2025, which is pretty freaking cool. So, yeah. I'm so happy for you. What? I mean, yes, I am happy for me. Yeah, it's gonna be really sick. I'll say that, in comments to my videos, I often see people saying things like, I'm only subbed because of my house, or I'm finally gonna let go of my
Hello,
house
Zepla. How are
so
you?
I can
Less than
unsub.
3 hello, everyone.
And I feel like making that decision is something that really severs you from the game. It severs you from the MMO. It could be that last tether holding you on, but that's kind of not a good sign all by itself. Zepla, I think the zone will look like a player housing in FF14 with a ward layout, but each house might be instanced, so kind of get both worlds of community, but with your own house. So the neighborhoods themselves are instanced and they are persistent. So my understanding is that if you want to have, if you want to be in the neighborhood with your friend, the same neighborhood, y'all need to pick different plots within that instance of the neighborhood. If you both want the same plot, then my assumption would be that you need to be in different neighborhoods, but you can still freely visit other people in their neighborhood. Yes. How about we just take Final Fantasy XIV's housing system and all that feedback that piled up for so many years that they ignored? Yes. Exactly. Exactly. So, it's like, I've noticed you aren't doing anything with this feedback. Well, we can. So, they went into their 3 pillars for housing their design principles behind this feature. The first one being self-expression. And I thought this was interesting in context of Final Fantasy XIV's housing system. They said that the tool set that you'll be using to place items in the home for decor is going to be easy enough for someone with no 3D experience to be comfortable with and to use successfully, but it will also be powerful enough that players can surprise us with their creations or drill down to get the tiniest details just right. And if you know anything about what it's like to work with the default tool set for placing items in Final Fantasy XIV, it's not great. It's not great. Miliardo, too, thank you very much for subbing. Rob, thank you for the 17-month resub. I do appreciate that. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so I think this is being able to get a private neighborhood is really cool. They said the second main principle here is that it's going to be deeply social, which I think is really important when we look back on garrisons and how to not repeat the mistakes of the past. Garrisons were really isolating for me personally, and that was a reason I moved over to Final Fantasy XIV. But it looks like they're, from the ground up, designing this as something that's going to encourage you to interact and play with other people and progress with friends, with your neighborhood in some kind of way, which I think is really nice. So, man, can't believe this. I can't believe this, though. Look, I'll be real with you, okay? I always thought that it was a trade-off. Like, you either get instanced housing, like in Elder Scrolls Online, or you get neighborhoods, like in FF14. That's how we've always talked about it here on the channel. Like, the artificial scarcity that we've seen with the FF14 housing plots, generally, we consider that to be the price that you pay for having a neighborhood feel. And I personally have given Square Enix a lot of credit over the years, and I know that I have many times repeated this line of reasoning. I used to always say, neighborhoods in FF14 aren't worth the cost. This is, you've probably heard me say this before. Because I always felt like, I'd rather have instanced housing in FF14 so that everybody could get a home rather than have neighborhoods. Because we were operating on this false paradigm, thinking we really it had to be one way or the other way. And not anymore, because it turns out that this technology does exist after all, because now WoW is setting this precedent that is not going to be a good look at all for FF14. It already is looking I mean, they're gonna give FF14 a run for their money if they continue to not update these core systems. Yeah. I have folks in my FC. I haven't played this expansion. I've told them they can go to another FC and enjoy the game. What? Oh, right. Because you're out of the not playing much. They decided to stay. Talk on Discord and my wife logs on so we don't lose the home. Otherwise, I couldn't care less. That is not good. It's not a healthy sign, but I hear that a lot from people. My YouTube videos are filled with comments like this from people saying that, you know, they're only sub to keep their house. And I think this only lasts for so long until people finally just give up on it. I gave up on my house in FF14. I used to have one, and now I don't. So, but I gotta, these ones that have the violins, it's really distracting. I gotta skip that one. I know that some people have said, I've heard some people say, maybe this is gonna get FF14 to update their system, right? And I feel like there might have been a time when I believed that. And that time was probably over 5 years ago. Right now, it just sounds like cope. Like, they haven't touched the housing system hardly at all since it came out in 2.3. It's been 10 years. What have they added since then? How have they worked with the system? Well, 9 years ago, they added apartments. That was 9 years ago. In 4.3, they made the house transfers possible. And then later on, they added a lottery. That's it. It's been a decade, okay? Like, adding new wards and adding new districts isn't innovation. It just hasn't addressed the underlying problem that the system has had that we've been complaining about this entire time. They have adding new wards and districts. It's really just copy pasting the same thing again and adding a new coat of paint, but with the same internal flaws, which is a pattern I've started to notice lately. So, I mean, the way I see it is, if WoW's transmog system and account-wide stuff hasn't inspired FF14 to make this big similar improvements, then why would this be any different? Like, I just feel like it's I have no reason to believe that it would get them to update their system. I can hope, but I really, really doubt. I really, really doubt. I also think it's very interesting that they've posted this before the live letter tomorrow. There's a live letter on Friday, which made me wonder if this is like a strategically placed announcement, with it being so relevant to both WoW and FF14. Yeah. At this point, I wouldn't even remind the active player in my FC to keep the house refreshed, because as much as I love it, screw Square Enix abusive sunk cost fallacy. I agree that it is a malicious business practice to hang this over your head, and I don't think it's a good... I don't think it's healthy. It's not healthy. For the game. Yeah. It did sound like your public neighborhood will be persistent. I wonder how it'll work if folks pause their sub. Will the house sit there semi-abandoned forever? So you may end up the only active house in a whole neighborhood unless they refresh and move people around. Well, they did say here that neighborhoods are 50 plot areas, and this will let players live next to each other, work together, and share in the rewards of being part of the neighborhood. The neighborhoods are instanced, but crucially also persistent, so your neighbors can be your neighbors for years to come, or until one of you moves. So that addresses the problem that you brought up, Grimku. If you happen to find yourself in a neighborhood where everybody has stopped playing or whatever, you can just move to a different neighborhood freely. That's what that sounds like. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, for my friend, this is her words. Tomorrow's live letter is do or die for Square Enix. If they announce just MSQ, more duties, and not any QOL features, or addressing any of the feedback, I'll abandon 14 in my house to try WoW again. Well, as a word of warning, keep in mind that tomorrow's live letter is part 1 of the live letter information about the upcoming patch. So I wouldn't expect there to be a lot of content in the live letter part 1. Yeah, usually all the more interesting stuff is in part 2. But there should at least be announcements for things that they'll show us in part 2. So that's just something that you might want to keep in mind with that. Honestly, man, I think I am actually starting to believe that FF14's housing system is deliberately limited to make the housing feel more exclusive so that you're less likely to unsubscribe. I think that I know that a lot of people do believe that already, but there was a time, and I think I've even said it in videos, where I thought that was way too cynical of a take.
Zepla
But
DJ, Zepla
like if you look
DJ,
at my
Zepla
old
DJ.
housing videos about FF14 where I think I brought it up in an old video and I was like, oh, but that's just way too cynical. I don't believe that. But that was like 8 years ago and nothing's changed. So now I'm kind of actually starting to believe that, because if it were a free and open housing system that was always accessible to you, like what World of Warcraft has planned in the form of instance housing, then there's no reason not to unsub. It's always going to be there. And it's always going to be there when you get back if you decide to take a break. And having this limited supply, this artificial scarcity, gives them a reason for why they must destroy your house if you've unsubbed. It makes it seem like they have a good reason to do that, because you got to make room for other people. But I think that it's, I used to believe, well, it's just about the spaghetti code. It's just about the code. It's an old game. But WoW came out in 2004, first of all. 10 years before 2.0. And they have, in 14, reworked the back end of some old systems already. Like duty support. They've gone back and they've reworked some instances. They've reworked the Realm Reborn MSQ. They've added instance housing in a sense with the Island Sanctuary that lets you put outdoor furnishing. So I think that these things were expensive to accomplish, and I'm sure difficult to do, but they did them because they made it a priority. And because this has happened, they have worked some things. It just makes me feel like solving this problem after this long just hasn't been a priority, especially if it's a revenue, it generates revenue for them. Yoshi P said himself in an interview that there isn't any spaghetti code. What? Did he really? But they probably implemented the system in a way that's harder to escalate. I'm sure it is hard, yes. Is it? Yeah. I think they can fix it, but that they don't want to, because the current system generates so much revenue. And honestly, it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter what the reason is. Maybe you disagree. Maybe it really is server limitations or the budget or spaghetti code or whatever the fuck. Maybe. But in the end, it kind of doesn't matter. Like, okay, as we look to the next 10 years, it won't really matter what the excuse is. Okay, even if it's good reasons that the housing system is broken in 14. It doesn't matter in the long run, because what's actually going to matter is whether Square Enix chooses to evolve, invest in fixing these problems, or just lets the game stagnate and you just deal with it. Yeah. That's, I mean, we don't really need to argue about why it's not fixed. It's just been a really, really long time. Ultimately, you said they can for sure change the system, but the cost of it makes it not viable for them. It's all a matter of cost. here's the other thing. I also used to think it's just that Daddy Square Enix won't give Final Fantasy XIV enough money. It's just that we're trying so hard to get the money for Square Enix, but they won't give us enough money that we need. I think this is actually kind of bullshit now, after seeing this for so long. I think that, to an extent, the FF14 team might pride themselves on operating on a shoestring budget and not asking for a lot of money. They like being able to have a very, like, I guess, tight overhead. And I don't really, it's hard to imagine that they're really out here campaigning and begging for the money to fix these systems. It just doesn't seem like that to me. I mean, Yoshi P is on the board of directors for Square Enix. I don't think it's, I think they have a system that's making money for Square Enix by having people not unsub. So, ultimately, it doesn't matter what the reason is. Because what players are going to care about in the next 10 years is the quality of the product that's being delivered and whether it holds up as a modern game in the space. Especially newer players that we might see trying out the game in the next decade, who are maybe coming from World of Warcraft, maybe want to try something different, and maybe they're accustomed to better systems. I don't want them to try FF14 and feel like, wow, this is a downgrade. I don't want that to happen. I want to hold FF14 to a high standard because I know that the devs are capable, but they need to move faster than they have been in adapting to the market. And if Square keeps blaming technical limitations or budget or whatever for the next 10 years, like even the next 2 to 3 years, the game is, you're just going to give the game a reputation for being outdated, which isn't good. At some point, it just doesn't matter. It's not about why can't they fix it. In fact, you know what? Let's go to the forum thread. Yeah. Guild Wars 2, I've heard, has released a new housing system that's good, from what I understand. I actually found this time from 10 years ago at a fan fest. When Yoshi P announced the cash shop, and Yoshi P said, why they're adding the cash shop, where the money is going to go. He said, they're going to use the money to make more minions, more vanity items. The profits can also be put towards creating more housing options, creating more servers, so we can have more plots of land. It's been 10 years. And we haven't come up with a better solution than this. Than just adding more awards. In this whole time. The cash shop was supposed to help with this, but I don't really see anything that's actually changed. So let's look at this forum thread about it. But then again, they did release that new hairstyle today, the Hilda hairstyle, so maybe that's what they need to make the neighborhoods that are freely open to everyone. Maybe that's why they released that. They'll use the funds to add more housing options. Yes. That's why they did that today. Yeah, that's proof that they're working on it. So, I wanted to look at this thread here that's on the forums. You might think I'm being hard on FF14, and I am. It's because I've been around in the community for a real long time, and because I really, really care about the game, and I want it to be... I want both games to be giving each other a run for their money. And a reason I feel so strongly about FF14 in this, ultimately both we the players win no matter what happens. Because we're gonna have a good game either way. But I played WoW from 2004 until WoD, when I swapped to FF14 as my main game. And I had seen a lot of games come and go, but I had never really been captivated by an MMO like I had been with WoW until FF14 came along. And so I know the potential that this game has, and I don't want to see it get left in the dust. So that's why I'm always going to be like this. That's yeah. Okay. Zepla, do you own any plots in FF14? I used to. I did. I had a house that I loved on EU, and I thought I would never ever get rid of it. And then I was forced to leave Europe and flee my house in Ukraine because of the war that started in Ukraine. When that happened, I moved to America, and I moved to NA servers. I felt like I needed to move to NA servers. And moving to NA meant I had to let go of my house in Final Fantasy XIV. And that was really, really heartbreaking because I felt like, okay, so now I've lost my house in real life, and I also feel like I've lost my house in the video game as well. Now I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to deal with it anymore. I don't want to have something like that that I could lose again. So that's why I have tried since to get houses. I've applied for a bunch of lotteries. I got a house even on my alt. But ultimately I just let it all go because it felt like a thing that was constantly hanging over my head, and I just didn't feel the same as I had about I didn't like that feeling. I really, really didn't like that feeling. So let's look at this forum thread. Johners. Hey. WoW's player housing will have no FOMO and a private housing wards. Cress, thank you for the 37-month resub. I do appreciate that. Thank you very much. One sec. Let me turn this down a little. Okay, so Blizzard today announced some details of their upcoming player housing system. It'll be made available to players in the next WoW expansion, due to release in 2026. It's actually coming in 2025 in the summer, but we're expecting the housing in late autumn, early winter, according to the roadmap. So pretty soon. Of course, we read this already at the start of the stream, but they've pointed out that there won't be a lottery, there won't be exorbitant requirements, no high purchase costs, no onerous upkeep. If your subscription lapses, they won't take your house away. I wonder what games they're referring to in this statement. Yeah. That said, Square Enix should really be reworking their system so everyone can have a house. Likewise, we shouldn't lose it if we decide to take a break. So what is the reaction on the forums from this? Yeah. I imagine this has quite a few. We have 11 pages so far, and I'm sure it's only going to continue to explode over the coming days. I'm really looking forward to WoW Housing, as it seems like it's going to be a better system than 14 or Elder Scrolls Online. I never played WoW until Dawn Trail dropped, and boy oh boy, has it been an amazing experience. The players, even the randos I get in Dungeon Finder, who have such a bad rep, have been amazing, helpful, and not even close to the monsters I expected from all the stories you read online. Square Enix really needs to step up after the War Within, and what it looks like is coming down the pipeline. As someone who's been very loyal to Square Enix from FF11 through FF14, I never even imagined myself playing WoW at all. And now I'm on the brink of canceling my 14 sub and full timing it. Even my spouse said they wanted to take my temperature and make sure I was okay when I was talking about it over dinner. This is pretty bad. I mean, it's good. I'm glad that you found you're enjoying WoW, and join our guild, by the way. Only buts. But in terms of 14, I think this is a big warning sign when you start to see a shifting sentiment among longtime FF14 loyalists. Like, even before this feature is out, the WoW housing is starting to make people question whether the grass is really greener on the other side. Because it looks like it's going to be player first instead of an artificial scarcity system like we have in 14. I mean, if Blizzard delivers even a half-decent product, it's going to look really bad. It's going to look really bad for 14. By the way, actually, hold on. I feel like, yeah. I'm guessing WoW system going to be kind of limiting in where you can place stuff and what stuff you can place compared to other systems I've played. Might be wrong. Right now, we know very little about how the tool set will work. We don't even know if you'll be able to place anything on the XYZ axis. Maybe they were a little bit vague about it in this post, so I can't speak to that yet. But the other thing that this comment pointed out was, like, people starting to realize that maybe the toxic WoW player base stereotype isn't really true, in the sense that now that I've been playing a lot of WoW, I don't think that there are more toxic WoW players than there are toxic FF14 players, like, per capita, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, WoW has more people playing it, so there's probably, from a percentage standpoint, more buttholes. But I think, like, per set number of players is probably the same number of buttholes. So I think people are finding out that WoW's culture isn't actually as bad as you've been led to believe. What I will say is that because of WoW's content, a lot of time asking more of the player and requiring more of you in a dungeon than just pressing one button. Typically, you need to, like, you might need to know where your CC is. There might be more reasons to have a conflict than compared to a scenario where you just walk down a straight line and press one button. But I don't think that intrinsically there's more toxic people than in FF14. Yeah. It really depends on what kind of content you're doing, but really a guild will completely insulate you from that, even having to worry about that at all. But man, yeah, this is a loyal player, and this is something that Square is going to have to confront the reality of with failing to innovate in such a competitive space. Like, you're going to risk losing loyal players who had never even considered playing WoW before. Here they are. Can't even believe that they're finally going to try it. I mean, look at me. I made a WoW channel. I made a WoW YouTube channel. I'm covering WoW. I mean, my God. It's not the death. Okay, well, what is this reply? Well, it shouldn't be entirely held against Square Enix, as that's not really fair. Well, who else should it be held against? They're in charge. Also, there's a breath of fresh air with how often you hear news about the game. Hey, you know what? That's really fair to hold that against Square Enix. That's their job. Like, due to the PTR, fairly active dev notes, and even interaction interviews in English, you can get WoW news almost daily. Hey, all this stuff, it's stuff Blizzard does as developers. Yeah. Some of that is a bit reality of life, but it's wild to be like, I really hope 14 is cooking. Are they cooking? No idea, can't tell. Man, I really hope so. To checking WoW and be like, damn, that's cool. Oh, they pivoted based on feedback. That's cool too. I should note I've only recently started due to a growing unhappiness asterisk with FF14. I'm aware recent past has a lot of drama, so like New Leaf Blizzard is the one I'm commenting on. I hope they can keep that because it'll either mean a great game or also potentially a better FF14. Here, this guy gets it. Either a great game or a potentially better FFXAV, a win or a win. You get it. Thank you. Absolutely base to realize this on the FF14 forums. I'm actually shocked. You win either way as a player. It's not the death of FFXAV. Well, obviously not. It's just that my feeling that things feel stagnant. And many things I wish improved either don't or actually get worse. I completely agree with this. And we just want to see healthy signs from the game. We want to see the healthy signs. Yeah. The simple truth is that Blizzard has been consistently nailing it for a very long time, while Square Enix continues to let their game stagnate. And ignoring player feedback, you reap what you sow. I mean, sometimes they implement things, and I wonder who they were listening to, like who asked for this in 14 lately. People talking about innovation. The private public neighborhoods is what FF14 should have done years ago. Yes. Yes. Instead, players just create that for themselves by buying up the entire neighborhood. Pretty cool stuff. They're definitely taking inspiration from WildStar and pretty clearly attempting to make a housing system that beats FF14's in every aspect, since Square Enix has just let ours rot. Take note, CBU3, this is how you lose an advantage, by just not doing anything new for a decade. This is what I've been trying to say every time we have... This is something that comes up a lot in discussions about 14 lately. The feeling that not taking risks is a risk. And this is a perfect example of that. Not doing anything can be more risky than trying crazy new things. Much needed jab at 14. Absolutely. I think that's the impression a lot of us have got. I think I already shared this before. No, I did with Preach's stream, but a friend over in WoW knew how unhappy I was with Dawn Trail and gifted me War Within to play with her. Reason I switched from 14 to WoW back in October and been playing since. And the toxicity mindset is starting to wear off. Yeah, you start to see, wow, it's actually not that bad. Maybe this was just something that's been spread to keep people from trying a different game. But then again, you are supposed to play other games. That's true. Xander Prime, thank you so much for gifting a sub in the chat. I really appreciate that. Ack. Well, I guess that's it for FFXV housing. A lot of you should consider moving over to WoW and freeing up more houses in 14 in the process. Thank you. Absolutely classic forum post. This is such a classic. It's dismissive, it's rude, and it's condescending. It is toxic complacency, which is the attitude that has kept this game stagnant. You are arguing for a worse system. Why? Why? This is the least constructive response you could possibly have. Basically, oh, well, if you don't like it, leave. And, people are leaving, but that is actually what some of these people want. Unironically, that is what they want. This is actually even more lazy than the usual defenses of the broken system, because it doesn't even try to defend the housing system. It's just saying to give up on it. Just give up. It's total apathy. And we wonder how we got to where we are. You know, there's people that argue for it. Hold on a minute. One sec. Oh, this was a thread from the housing forum I wanted to pull up. I like how they're arguing for more players to leave, which only hurts Square Enix more. No, but that's the thing. I know this argument. I have heard it. There are people that don't care if the game hemorrhages subscribers. They would rather have less people playing the game because there'll be less people complaining about it. They just rather the game stay exactly the same and stagnate. The stagnation is what they want. Like I see this all the damn time. Okay. So into the housing forums, because I think I was browsing this last night before bed. Oh, I know why. It was because I was looking for this advertisement. And I found it here on this forum post. Because some people were trying to argue that housing isn't a feature you should feel entitled to. It's optional. So you shouldn't complain about it. And I was like, wait, aren't there isn't it in an advertisement? And someone did post it here in this thread. Stop advertising housing as a feature from a little while ago. And someone made this comment, which I just had to, I had to bring it up with you because I thought it was really crazy in terms of defenses of the current system. They've said, the house situation is terrible. Few players like how it is, but the housing situation is not. Do you know why? Because if you're going to talk about housing, not houses, you can't arbitrarily dismiss apartments. Got 'em. Yes. Apartments are part of the housing system. If you complain about lack of housing when there's clearly housing available, it's easy for Square Enix to dismiss player complaints. We're gonna play a semantics game. Like, as if any person who has ever played FF14 has ever seen apartments as interchangeable with housing. Apartments are the most uninspired housing option they could have ever came up with, and they did come up with it 9 whole years ago and never changed it at all from being an empty box that you can live in. Like, it's the most... This is not, like, this is not the same. No person is this is just crazy. But apartments exist. Oh, here's another one. Here's another one. I think one sec. People lost their house during Endwalker Dawn Trail because they needed a break. Square Enix taking a big L here, but doubt they'll change their ways. I completely agree. I do not think they will change their ways. I have no reason to believe that. Okay, so I can't find this original, but I did take a screen cap of it, so I'm just gonna screen cap it for you. Okay. So this was in a forum thread. I think I tried to pull this up this morning, but I had internet problems. Where people were saying that if you don't like not having access to a house, you should just move to Dynamis. So this is something that's really common. This is one of the really common defenses that's thrown around. As much as people love to throw it around, just move lol is not a solution. You have to dissolve your FC or leave it. Dynamis is cut off from Ether with no re-enabling of travel on the horizon. I don't know if that is still true. I haven't checked. Has abysmal queues for everything other than healers. Has an embarrassingly dead PF. Has overpriced everything on the market board. Dead open world zones. Dead cities. This is not a solution. This is not a... Oh, here's one that was really crazy. Okay. This one's really crazy. This is such a classic forum situation too. Okay. Someone writes, I turned off my account today. I really love this game. The only thing that's totally impossible to get is a house. I wasted so much time on this game trying to get a house. It's the only thing that I cannot do. You make it impossible. I finally give up. It's a complete waste of my time and money. Bye. Enjoy a houseless game. So this is someone who's tried for a long time and they failed and they finally hit their breaking point. And the response? Tons of houses on Dynamis. Your negative feelings are your own fault. Wow. This is not an uncommon take. This is the absolute state of the FF14 community. And it really shows just how disconnected some people are from the actual problem, like willfully disconnected. It is such a classic, dismissive, condescending response where he's gaslighting your frustration, implying the problem isn't the housing system, the problem is actually your attitude. Yeah. Just sidestep discussing the problem and tell people to go to Dynamis, which isn't a fix. This is actually introduces new problems for you. I know because I was on Dynamis for like a year. I tried it and it was horrible. I eventually gave up and I left. I think I went back to EU. Rating is impossible. Group Finder's dead. I mean, we've been over that. Can't interact with your FC at all. So I just think that it's insane to tell someone to just abandon their thriving community to get access to one of the game's advertised features. Like, do you realize that that's not healthy? That's not a healthy housing system that needs to shove people into a dead data center so that they can get a plot. Like, what I don't understand is why do you fight for a worse game? Like, are you really that nihilistic that you can't imagine an improvement for yourself and your friends? Like, players, we are players. It's us against the problem, right? We shouldn't have to choose between playing on an active DC and owning a house. And now World of Warcraft has proven that this trade-off isn't necessary. And people are finally like, you know what? I've had it. I've had it with all the excuses. And, God. Like, imagine ordering a bean burrito at Taco Bell. And it has toothpaste in it instead of beans. And you complain about it on Twitter. And some guy is like, actually, that's edible toothpaste. And it's their new formula for the bean burrito. And your negative feelings are your own fault. Okay? You should just try it. You should just eat it. God. Insane. Okay. What the fu- What? You're welcome to use one of mine till you get one of your own. Wow, thanks. Cool. Oh my god. Oh my god, dude. Same here. I won't renew my sub when it runs out. I think it's not an option for multiple reasons, and the alt option won't work either. We have 300 plus people bidding in every single auction. We also have had an extremely low inventory lately due to the auto demo freeze. Meanwhile, we have players who own every house in an entire ward. The frustration is real. Ether needs more wards. It needs more than that. Better yet, open more housing. I mean, the Loporits prepared a home for us. We're not even using it. It won't solve the problem. Because that's the same thing that they've been doing for the past 10 years, and we still have the same problems we always had. You're welcome to use one of mine until you get a house of your own. How many houses do you have? Shouldn't be too difficult to make happen. Wow, how thoughtful of you. That's really nice of you that you have all those houses. You have so many that you can just let someone else use one of yours, um, since they can't get one. That's really considerate and stuff. Very kind. I know a guy that took over about a third of an entire ward, abusing multiple accounts to pretty much rob it from other potential players. Oh yeah, this has been going on for as long as I can remember. Um, and yeah. They need to automatically open new wards when space runs out. Well, that is what World of Warcraft is going to be doing with their housing system. That is what it will generate new neighborhoods depending on how many they need. It'll just infinitely generate as many as is required. 1 second. Oh, this was a post that I thought was interesting too. And we're discussing, defending the state of things. Zep, how do we fix this? How do we as players make Square Enix see the problem? Get them to change the systems? There must be a way to force their hand to improve the game. There's not. The only thing we can do is give constructive feedback and not suppress other players who are trying to offer that feedback. That is the reason I'm going into these defenses that are dismissive, that are apathetic, and that tell someone to just shut up and they shouldn't care. Because I think that's the most damaging thing that you could do. That's the reason we're going through this. That's the reason why I think things couldn't change. Is if you just... There's basically 2 reasons why it wouldn't change. One, they just don't get the feedback because they're people trying to share feedback are being told to shut up constantly. And 2, they can change it, but they just don't want to for reasons that we'll never be able to do anything about. So, yeah. Yeah. So I saw this post on FXV subreddit. FXV housing owners are basically hostages, and housing needs to change. So this was a post from someone who was very frustrated with the fact that housing is FOMO, that there's limited space, so it's a commodity that turns into illicit trading behind Square Enix's back, and they said housing is a scam only meant for people who play literally every single day. This is coming from someone who adored the game for many years, who has been there since Realm Reborn. People have lives. Times they can't play. Blah, blah, blah. This experience spoiled my view on the game and it sucks. I feel like I was trapped and I couldn't let myself give it up. I know many people this has happened to. I know I'm not insane. I'm just a sucker, and I hate that this game made me feel like a sucker. I don't recommend anyone buy a house unless you're committed to paying $13 a month or more to own property for as long as you're willing to put up with it. Not to mention, when the house is destroyed, you get only a percentage of your money back. All the furniture is untradeable and useless. In my heart, I know the system is how it is to keep players playing and siphon their wallets at the same time, but I'm tired of it. This business practice is malicious. Okay. I did the math. I've been paying for my limited subscription while trying to keep my house. I come back and play once every so often, but never missed my regular house demolition check-in. I didn't account for the fact that I paid for a full subscription in the past, also extra retainer. Basically, I spent more than $300 just for a few pixels in a video game. So this person was really upset, right? Feeling like they had been held hostage by their house. And this post did not go over well in the subreddit. As you can see, this post has 0 upvotes. It was downvoted heavily. And while the top comment was sympathetic, many other comments were not sympathetic at all. Someone said that first time I've seen someone lucky enough to own a house and complaining about it. Oh, so you won. The system gave you a house, so you no longer can point out problems with the system. They said that most of the complaints about the housing system are legit, but I also believe Square Enix on their reasoning for the current system not being better. So Square Enix has a good reason for not fixing it, which makes it okay. You don't have to play every day to own a house or even every month. They give you 45 days before demo. You can sub for a month, take a 44-day break, and continue to repeat that process. You'll be unsubbed more than subbed. They also just gave us a 1.5-year break from housing demo. I took that entire time away from the game to play other stuff in my backlog. Wow, it's nice you were free to do that. I returned once they reactivated it. I've been having a blast catching up on all this stuff I missed out on. Wow. So, personally, okay. I don't, personally, this is my take. I don't think it's a good sign that as soon as the game stops threatening you with taking your shit away, that then you feel free to play other games. It's almost like it's the demolition that keeps you subbed. I don't think that's good for the game, and I also don't think that's a crazy take. I do think it's absolutely wild that some players see this as a positive thing rather than, like, an indictment of the system. The fact that you only feel free to take a break when the threat of losing your house is removed should be a red flag, right? Like, this means that the game's retention isn't based on your engagement or your excitement, feelings about it, but on a sense of fear and obligation. If you're only staying subbed... God, this is so stupid. This is so stupid. Are you staying sub because you have to, or because you want to? That's the question you need to ask yourself. Are you being coerced? And this whole, like, just sub for a month, then take a 44-day break. Work around. You realize you're not defending the system by saying this, right? You're showing us how to game it because it's bad. And by the way, if Square Enix can just pause demolitions for like over a year and the game is fine, doesn't that mean that demolition isn't even necessary? And maybe it's just an arbitrary thing to force people to sub. I don't know. Can't believe I have to say that if housing demo is what's keeping you subbed, that's not good. I can't believe I have to say that. There's another comment that says, huh? This essay is a great example of displaced blame, where you're blaming something else for an error in your behavior. No one forced you to buy a house. No one's forcing you to keep the house. Housing is optional. So, 13, okay. The house provides no in-game advantage. It's optional content. So basically what they're saying is you, a paying customer, should not feel entitled to optional content. You're only really paying for the content that is deemed more important. Housing. And that $13 a month is to play the game, not to own a house. So I guess player housing doesn't count as a gameplay feature, even though they are using it in their marketing. If you are paying $13 a month just to own the house and not to play the game, you might want to just donate that money to a charity or something instead. God. Absolutely classic. So classic. It's always like this. It's such a classic thing for this because to suggest for OP to spend the money on charity instead of having opinions that are negative about FXCV. Because on the surface, it seems like a really nice and thoughtful, but it's actually such a condescending thing to say. Like, oh, you care about your digital house? Well, you know, there's starving children that could use that $13. Like, this is just, it's a deflection tactic that's shifting the conversation away from what we're trying to discuss. And you're basically saying, well, this is completely trivial. This isn't worthy of discussion. And this is what I'm talking about, okay? This dismissive and complacent attitude towards real problems that the game has could be one of the reasons that FF14 is finding itself falling behind the competition, behind games that are choosing to innovate and evolve. That's all I'm saying. God. This was from a year ago. It wasn't even that long ago. It wasn't even that long ago. I don't know. Like, before we can even think about improving the systems and problems with the game, we got to get people to learn how to engage with issues instead of deflecting, having this toxic complacency, having this apathy, this nihilism, saying, la la la, I don't care, this isn't a problem, shut up. Like, this is really a massive, massive issue, I think. We're starting to see the effects of that. Yeah. This is exactly why I've always said it is a good thing that while players have always been willing to criticize the game. I gotta say, when I started streaming World of Warcraft, as a person that had been streaming a lot of FF14 for many years before that, I felt such a, like, I felt like a burden had been lifted off my shoulders in being able to complain about WoW on the stream. I never felt like, oh, I gotta be really careful about, you know, how I go about this issue. And I've got to, like, really think about it because I don't want to upset anyone and I don't want them to take it the wrong way. But in WoW, it's just, I felt like I can just say whatever. And nobody's going to try to pick it apart and be like, well, you didn't account for every single case that exists. So, you know, I didn't feel like I have to try to persuade people that don't want to listen. You know? Now, WoW can take it to extreme. Don't get me wrong. I know. Okay? WoW players, they like to complain a lot. Okay? This is kind of the other extreme. WoW players, I think a lot of them enjoy the shitting on the game to a ridiculous. But if I had to honestly, if I had to choose one or the other, if I had to choose between our community enjoys shitting on the game or our community refuses to engage with feedback, one of these is more likely to result in positive change and more likely to result in developers hearing feedback than the other. One of them at least lets the feedback out. The other is suppressing feedback. Yeah. They love shitting on the game, been giving Blizzard over $1 billion in $90 amounts. That's so true. That is true. That is very true. Yes. WoW players have no problem shitting where they eat. I mean, yeah. That's okay. Yeah. Just because some players deflect feedback doesn't mean that the devs don't read it. Absolutely agree, and a good point. Absolutely agree, and a good point. And definitely, I'm glad you brought that out. Community managers are smarter than that. While there are a large maybe not a majority, a large fraction of players that are suppressing the feedback and telling people to shut up, I think that there is a lot of complaints and honest feedback that has been given to the devs over the years about the housing system. I mean, it's been 10 years at this point. I mean, shit, play it yourself. This isn't rocket science. Try to get a house yourself in FF14. You don't need somebody else to explain to you why it sucks. Okay, just play the damn game. This isn't like, oh, if only the player would tell me why this is bad, because it's really obvious why it's bad. Oh, yeah. So, hold on. One sec. Just play your game. Literally play your game. So what is the latest thread on this? Oh, here we go. Last night, I'd seen this thread get removed, but I'm not sure why. It looks like it's back up. I haven't seen this at all yet. So let's go on a magical mystery tour. A few shots fired from Blizzard regarding housing. Of course, we went over this at the start of the stream today. Then pointing out with the new housing system, there's going to be no lottery, no repossession if your subscription lapses. But not only that, they're also adding some new stuff that's going to be cool also. Like, your alts can hang out in your house, which I think is amazing. Your orc character can hang out in your alliance house without a problem? Wait, is that what that means? Or did I misunderstand that? Oh no, maybe it means that your orc, you can log into your alliance house with your orc. Not that your orc character is like hanging out while you're on your alliance character. Yeah, I think that's actually the case. That would be really cool though, Blizzard. Please make it happen. First time I read it, I think I misread it. Yeah. I would love to see my alts like, I would like to see my druid tending a garden. You know, maybe have somebody out there mowing the lawn. That would be so cool. Just chilling. Yes. I want to be able to interact with the warband. That does seem like something that they're working towards, because with this announcement, they said that they really want you to express your personal tastes or your warbands, which I thought was interesting. Your warband's taste. They're thinking more in terms of these little warbands that you'll have. But I wonder if you'll be able to buy a house on every character. I mean, I doubt that very much. Lendy, thank you very much for the 20-month resub. I do appreciate that. Give me 1 second. You might hear some banging going on outside. That is because there is some construction happening in my house. Yeah. There's a little bit of construction going on. I'm so looking forward to decorating. Oh my gosh. Yes. I want to collect all of the decor possible. And I'll be going to into that more on my video that's coming up on the World of Warcraft channel very soon. So the top comment here, well deserved. Competition is good. And FF14 housing, right alongside its glamour system, should have been overhauled years ago. Yes. I agree. Obviously, it would be nice if 14 had WoW's method of acquiring glamour. But at least we have dyeable gear, which is pretty cool. Well, Guild Wars 2 has dyeable gear, and they implemented it a hell of a lot better than, Look, I'm a little salty on the dyeable gear in 14, because I personally was very excited for the 2 dye system, and it ended up not being applied to every item like I expected, and a lot of the items that it is applied to just doesn't make any freaking sense as to why the second dye channel is what it is. So I'm not that impressed, especially after doing Guild Wars 2 dye system. They're not ever going to do a dye system in World of Warcraft because getting recolors is part of the game. Getting recolors is like, you know, there's one color for LFR, there's a color for Heroic, there's a color for Mythic. So that's part of the fun, is collecting all the different colors of things. So that's not happening, I think. Elder Scrolls Online has an interesting system that's arguably pretty good, where you can unlock new dyes from achievements in the game. And that's nice. I like that. Yeah. Guild Wars has a die system. It was released only 5 months after WoW. Wow, really? Whew! 2005! Yeah, WoW chose not to do it. Yeah. Why aren't you using dark mode? That is a good question. That's good. I will say, I understand why it's tricky once you know how the textures and color sets work, but they should have future-proofed that. They should have spent the time to actually check. Is it a good idea to have the second die channel be a single button on my pants? You know, that's, that's common sense, right? Like, asking yourself, will the player like that? Is that going to be exciting? Have the one yellow button on the blue shirt? Or maybe the thread. We'll have the threading at the very bottom be a different color. It's tiny. You're gonna need like a fucking magnifying glasses to see some of this shit. It was just a little wild considering that was like a mainline expansion feature that was heavily marketed. Yeah. Games remain at their best, and competition is recognized and close. WoW and FF14 are the two most in competition with each other. Like said, things like housing and glamour could really use an overhaul. That's why I feel like housing won't change in 14, as I said earlier. If they haven't changed glam, they're not going to change housing. I'm not holding my breath. Yeah, it's kind of crazy to see some reasonable comments, but usually you'll get reasonable comments after there's a very popular post. That's what I've noticed on the subreddit. If there's a post that's like actually drawing in a lot of people, then you get more normal comments in it. But if it's like not a very popular post, then usually there's pretty unhinged comments in it. That's kind of what I've seen. Yeah. Great. Island Sanctuary clearly show they can have an instance with customizable exterior. They probably intentionally did not allow inside customization to not concurrence housing. That's so funny. I wonder that would be so funny if that was actually true. Imagine they're working on Island Sanctuary and they're like, okay, so we've got this instanced area that every player can get. And you can put outdoor furnishings in it. And we could have it so they have indoor furnishings too in like different buildings. And then someone's like, Yoshi is like, oh no, don't do that. We have housing already. We don't want to have a redundancy. So make sure you don't let them put indoor furnishings because we already have housing, which is really good. Yeah. We don't want concurrency. That'd be so fucking hilarious. Oh, they already like their housing a lot, so we don't want to give them another thing like that. That would be... They want us to innovate. They don't want us to do the same thing. I'm good. Maybe they'll take notice how limiting and stupid their housing system is. They won't. I doubt it, yeah. They want it to be limited and stupid. This is actually how I feel now, too. I think this is the case. I think this is what they want. Because the people designing it fell in love with the idea of not of a player owning a place of their own, but of walkable, lived-in neighborhoods where each house belongs to a real player. But that's what that's what this is, though. That's what we're getting here, though. So we can't do this anymore. Where we say it's one or the other. Yeah. Yeah. Island Sanctuary has so much potential. Yeah, it was really not at all like I expected. I was expecting a playground, and then I ended up getting a conveyor belt. Yeah, it's not happening. Has anyone played a game with infinite housing? A lot of it looks like ghost towns. Well, you can move to a different neighborhood if you don't like your neighborhood. And you can create your own neighborhood. You can join a private neighborhood too, if you want. So it's not like you're forced into staying into a neighborhood that everybody else has moved out of. Now, in F14, I now wonder at times if the houses are even owned by a genuine real player. Since at the time, I never would see my neighbors in some plots of houses with no decorations for months. Yeah, I've also wondered about that, but I guess if someone is logging in just to go inside and then they log out, then you're not gonna see it being really decorated. Yeah. Like I said before, in those games with Infinite, I've never once in the past 6 years visited any because it's not special. Everyone has it, and most don't even decorate it. So I think with the Blizzard implementation of their housing, that they're going to try to create some kind of systems that will be fun to progress and give you things to do with the neighborhood besides just decorating your house. That is the impression that I get. Because they said that private neighborhoods created by groups of friends or guilds to inhabit, progress, and customize together. Lived next to each other, work together, and share in the rewards of being part of the neighborhood. So this isn't just going to be a static place where you put your shit and then you forget about it. It's going to be more of an interactive social game. It's going to be, they're going to gamify it a little bit. And I think this is going to be really important to getting people to actually socialize. They've said that one of their pillars is having it be deeply social. The systems are designed at a fundamental level to encourage interacting, playing, and progressing with friends, neighbors, guilds, and the wider community in a meaningful way. So again, it isn't just going to be a house you get it and forget it, set it and forget it. This is something that's going to be, you know, a game. It's part of the game. Gameplay. I would assume maybe there's going to be something like achievements. I don't know, but I think that's a good idea. Don't let it just be a thing you unlock it and you're done. Like I've seen with housing in most games. That's typically how housing ends up. I expect it to be similar to class halls in Legion, just more personal. Oh yeah, I think that's probably reasonable to assume. Honestly, that scares me because Blizzard has a record of making things mandatory. I think that's a reasonable concern, actually. I hope they've learned. Yes, I think it's a reasonable concern. You don't want them to have it be like, oh god, we need to have everyone in the neighborhood with a meta number and type of decor in their yard because it's going to give us neighborhood points, and if you get a certain number of neighborhood points, it gives you a 1% DPS increase. I don't think they're going to do that. I would hope they're smarter than that by now, but you never know. Proof is in the pudding way, so we're going to see that when it comes out. Mandatory fun housecast. Disparage. Yeah, for real. Gotta customize your house before entering the next raid. I wouldn't put it past them, but hopefully they know to please not do that. The HOA. Yes. You won't get raid buffs. Yeah, it's like there's a super good raid buff if you have like decked out kitchen that's fully... If you don't clean the dishes, you're not gonna get your raid buff. You know that's what they would do. We better stop giving them ideas, okay? No. The thing about Finite, you don't need to go outside in the district in FF14. My FC just teleports to the house. We didn't walk around the empty neighborhood. Right. Usually you go to a venue, you go straight to the venue and then leave. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that is hopefully something that they're going to try to address with these social systems. But interestingly, at the same time, interestingly, they said this isn't something that you should expect to finish, but instead continually look forward to the next housing release, be it new content or systems. This is a long-term commitment for us as developers. They said, housing is designed to scale with the player's interest. If someone wants to spend dozens of hours a week on their house, that's great. If they're only interested in coming and going once or twice a month, that's great too. So, how are you going to accomplish this? Scale with my interest. So, I feel like this is a thing that's going to be difficult to balance with the social goal. You know, what if everyone in your neighborhood only wants to come and go once or twice a month, but you want to spend dozens of hours a week? How is that gonna, like, work? These are a lot of questions that I'm sure we'll have answers to in the coming months, considering that this is a feature coming out in late autumn of this year. So there's a good bit of time for them to give us more details about it. But I will say, as I said before, if they even half-ass this, it's gonna be better than FF14. Okay. That's real. That's real. Even if it's half-assed and it's half broken, it's still gonna be an improvement out the gate. So they don't have to get everything perfectly on the first try, but I appreciate where they're coming from, and I like what they're saying, and I like the goals that I've heard. I have seen, though. What's that? Bing. Beep, 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 beep. There's a post here. I'm gonna try to find. There was someone I'd seen who, like, could not grasp 14's housing system is so ridiculously dog. I can't believe people unironically defend it. I know. We've been over that already today, though. Hold on. I'm trying to find something that I was reading last night. Engineers... Okay. Please do explain to me how WoW could host, let's say, 500,000 neighborhoods/wards of 50 plots in the open world since it's infinite. Oh, you don't believe? You don't believe that they can do it. Please walk me through the hardware requirements they'd need in the infinitely growing map and or UI to search through 500,000 words. I guess that is hard to grasp if you only know the FF14 UI. Because you're imagining, like, okay, well, I need to teleport to the NPC at the front of the neighborhood, right-click on him, and then click on all the different wards, and then there's going to be another drop down for the subdivisions, which are a little bit different. It's just a swapped around version of the ward, but then you have to click on each individual ward and then click on subdivision every time, but you don't really know. There's no search option. So you can see how that's hard to grasp. But I imagine that the UI will probably be, like, modern. I don't believe. Firstly, each ward is a, oh my god, is a server program. To understand what a server program is, type in your Windows search bar, CMD, and open the command prompt. That's what a server looks like. This is a server program. Secondly, seeing as I've run game servers before, I can confidently say there isn't usually much overhead. To such a point, you can run multiple of them. Fact Square does run multiple of them. They run 12 wards on a single physical machine, alongside several other zones and MSQ instances. Oh my god, this is pretty technical. We know this from their hardware failure reports, where they reveal which zones were on that physical machine. Bro's running his friend's Skyblock Minecraft server. This is involved. Modern hardware is so good in 2025, they could probably run a lot more server programs than they currently are on the same machine. Unless the server is hogging resources it shouldn't be, which wouldn't surprise me, because it's Square Enix. They could probably run hundreds of words on one machine. Square has all these machines. Yes, this is a picture of Square's machines. Each one of those cabinets contains hundreds of motherboards. They had 36 server programs running on one machine. To run 500,000 wards, they need 2 server programs each, ward server and private room server, making for a total of 1 million server programs. Thus, they'd need 27,777 physical machines. However, 30 million adventurers wouldn't all get a house. Nobody's saying they have to have unlimited scaling wards. They are saying to have unlimited scaling instances. Instances are freed when not in use. Yeah, allowing someone else to use them. This makes it scalable without needing to run 27,000 physical machines. Instead, you'd only need 111 machines to count for up to 2 million active players, spreading their activity through the week, with only 10% of them using their house at a time. We don't even seem to have 2 million right now, more like half that. We can get away with 55 house instance machines. This is assuming 36 server programs is even their limit. Did I forget to mention that the server programs themselves could just be made to handle even more instances per program, taking advantage of modern hardware and multi-threading? Wow, this seemed like a pretty educated response from someone that knows about server infrastructure. I agree that it seems pretty silly for someone to doubt WoW could do it when they have announced that they will do it. Like, what are you banking on right now? For this thing to completely crash and burn? For Blizzard to say, whoops, we thought we could do it, but we don't know what we're capable of, and we were wrong. And I'm sorry, but it looks like FF14's system is really the best after all. We're sorry, Yoshi P. That's what you're imagining, right? You know what? You know what? Even if that happened, even if Blizzard is like, we fucked up, we can't promise this, it's too hard, we have technical limitations, I would still have mad respect that they made the attempt on their first try. When Square, we've been dealing with this same bullshit for 10 years. Okay. I'd be like, you know what? You gave it the old college try. I appreciate it. You tried to make a better system. At least you fucking tried. Damn. God. Tiny indie company. Please understand. What the fuck? We're gonna reduce map design, immersion, QOL functionality down to... Does it load? WoW hasn't made a breakthrough in dealing with RMT bots, having a GM team that works to customer satisfaction, job balance design, that's very relevant. Having a healthy relationship with third-party software, healthy QOL in the workplace, cash grabs in the store, win trading in PvP. You know what? Good point. Yeah, that's good points, and I guess that means that their housing system isn't very good after all. I didn't think about it that way. Yeah, you know, I was really excited about this housing system until you reminded me that there's bots in WoW. Gotta hang it up, y'all. Yeah, and they have cash grabs in their store, which I can pay for with gold that I got for free by playing. That's true. Yes. Yeah, this is a really compelling argument about housing. God, I can't be on the forums. This is too... I cannot. Oh, God. I can't be on the forums. What about on the WoW subreddit? How do people feel about it over there? Oh, here we go. Okay. I can't do this. um, WoW already has systems that can handle one separate instance per character per account from their garrison design. That's true. That is actually true. Don't hold back on those FF blows. But I was laughing my ass off yesterday. I wish I'd been streaming yesterday whenever this news came out because I was just like, bruh. I still am laughing my ass off. Shots fired and warranted. FF14's housing is amazing, except for the fact that it feels like 99% of the player base just isn't allowed to actually access it because it's locked behind pure RNG. Well, you're not going to believe this, but the lottery system is more fair than it was before. Why is that? Well, because the system that was there before, I should look at, you know what? I should pull up this video that I made years ago about the house. Maybe we should just watch my own video about housing when it was really, really, really bad. It was about everyone had to click on the placard constantly. And no one knew, like, because at any moment when you click on it, you could buy. But no one knew which moment that was, which means everyone is just standing there clicking, 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 clicking for literally hours. And it started to become really bad when people started using bots to do this for them because they didn't want to develop carpal tunnel syndrome. And I should find this video. I should find this video. Just so you know. It's really difficult to find such an old video by searching it on the internet these days. It wants to show me all this new stuff. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Housing. God. I can't find it. Dude, I cannot find my own video. I've searched. I cannot find it. It's being suppressed. Zeiss, you found it. How long ago did I make that? Thanks, Zeiss. Regarding the sale. Jesus Christ, 2 years ago. No, this isn't it. No, that's not it. Regarding the sale. That is not it. It's a video that I made that was like, it was called something like Unhinged Things Players Do to Get a House in Final Fantasy 14. Yeah. It doesn't matter. I'm giving up on it. Hair was nice. Thank you. I'm glad that I'm not blonde anymore. Remember when Pipe made a whole 20-minute video about buying a house? Oh yeah. Yeah. It's sad. Oh, Daggy, you found it. Of land and Imperium and the new house. No, shush. Stop it. Stop it. Hush. Oh my god. This makes me sad. Man, it reminds me of when I was in Ukraine. My home in Ukraine, gone. Sucks ass. Sad. It's sad. Okay.
Hey Buns, today I want to talk about the housing situation in Final Fantasy XIV.
Okay, I'm gonna skip through this
I
video.
want to make this for my first reaction.
Intro, we don't need that.
This is not good. This is not healthy. And
Okay, this was from 4 years ago.
6 hours and 45 minutes of which they spent constantly clicking the placard, trying to be the first person.
11 hours and 45 minutes of camping a plot. 6 hours and 45 minutes of constant spamming the placard. Housing savage.
The plot. They had a
I cannot hear this damn video.
semi-injured hand, and
Girl.
finally a new plot after staying
There we
up
go.
all night, going without sleep. They had spent 47 hours.
Oh my god.
Plot can be purchased by someone, so it's between 30 minutes and 24 hours, and it's completely random. No one knows how long it would be during that time window. What happens in practice is that people will see a plot that is available, they go to the plot, and then
Yep.
they sit there and they camp the plot, and they just continually click the placard over and over until the second at which that plot will be available for purchase, and hopefully they'll be the first person to click and they'll be able to buy that plot.
Yeah,
The
that's how
huge
that
cost
works.
of that is, of course, people going without sleep, putting themselves in some physical duress, and feeling like they cannot step away even for a moment,
Yeah.
just for the chance of being able to get housing for themselves. Is the solution worse than the problem? I don't know. Maybe. Is this actually a health issue in our community? So I went to Twitter and I asked the question of, do you have any FXV housing horror stories? And I related how
My friend spent 47 hours camping plots and clicking placards before finally getting a home. What the hell? Oh my god.
pressuring people to pay their sub during a time when there's a lot of financial instability. Oh, another side note. If you already have a house, you can relocate and bypass the timer. So,
Oh yeah,
FYI.
you
It's
could do
really
that. Okay. Well,
So,
maybe I
already
won't
on
watch this whole thing
sanitizer.
because I can just give you the link to it.
This
Which
came up in our FC Discord a few months ago. I don't know the source, but it's both amusing and tragic. They witnessed housing PvP LB3. Folks got the available plot for their FC house right next to mine. Noticed an hour later, there was still a dude clicking their placard, so they put a target dummy behind it. Auto clicker started interacting with the dummy instead. Wait, are you telling me it was like a bot?
I remember that stupid
clicking?
system. I had to point a security camera at my computer
Draw
with a
weapon,
macro
pause,
running to
pause.
click.
I think I
still
can tell.
lost. It
Man,
took 2 friends calling me at 6 a.m. to buy my first one.
I think when I recorded this video, I was less comfortable on camera than I am now. I feel like I just compared to how I feel today after these years have passed. I feel like I was very stiff and like super professional and like yeah, it took me years to get over the terror of talking in front of the camera. Like really, you can actually see the progression over my channel from when I first started where I was scared to even be on camera. And then over time I started to be on camera, which was still really scary. And now, it's whatever, I mean, I fucking live on camera. I feel like I'm almost too comfortable at this point. I'm not gonna watch this whole thing, but I wanted to just show you that this is an issue that has been present for as long as I have been around. Like this was 4 years ago, but I've been playing for 8 years and it hasn't gotten better. In some ways it's gotten worse. So, I mean, at least you're not clicking the placard anymore. I'll just give you the link to this so you guys can watch it. So I'm not gonna watch this whole thing. Frozen Solid. Thank you for the 59-month resub. You said you remember this stupid system. Had to point a security camera at your computer with a macro running to click. What? I still lost. Two friends called me at 6 a.m. to buy my first one. Hey, have you ever had a dream about getting a house in Final Fantasy 14? I still have these dreams, and I don't even want a house in FF14 anymore. Like, how many more years of my life am I gonna have these nightmares? You did! God. The placard clicker was such a charming, old school tech that really brought the community together. God. What did I think? I wonder, what was my conclusion to this at the time? This is what I'm curious about.
It less unhealthy for people to be sitting at their computer, setting alarms
It's
to
bad.
not fall asleep just so
Yep.
they can get a house.
Okay,
It's
what
not
else?
okay, and we need to be talking about it more. I realize that there might be some technical issues preventing something like instance housing, but with how
Oh, it's the technical issues. Yes, that's what it's been.
badly this is affecting so many players, I really do think that it is worth the developers looking into and
Please?
taking more seriously. I mean, just adding more wards, adding more housing districts is not going to solve this overall problem.
Actually
Do you have
based.
a house in Final Fantasy 14? Do you plan on going through the clicking hell to get one? How do you think housing could be improved?
Okay, so I did not try to. I said maybe it's the technical problems. Basically, I did not even try to give a theory as to why they let it be that bad. Because at the time, I think I was willing to give to be a lot more understanding. But it's just as the years go on, man, nothing changes. You just start to lose hope that it will change because you have no reason to think that. I would say I'm a fairly optimistic person. But my optimism does have some limit. At a certain point, being optimistic just for the sake of optimism is kind of delulu, right? Like, I obviously want things to get better, and I hope that they will, but I don't have any reason to think that. So, yeah. I had the anxiety dream that my house got deleted. I dreamt I lost a house in FXV and IRL once. Oh no! You really care about your house till you lose it. That is something that I think was pretty shocking to me and my friends who've lost houses. The relief you will feel. Optimism starts to die out when knowing that Discord was made by FXV. Yeah, refusing to create a better social system. Hope for the best, but don't expect it unless you got some good reasons to. But I will, be covering it. I'm still waiting for them to make FF11 as easy to log in on official servers as it is on any of the private servers. The thing is that it's not even that easy to log in on FF14. That's the reason that the launcher was made. The modded launcher, XIV launcher. And then that can lead to more and more things. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get up for a second. I'll be right back. One sec. I need to get some tea. Yeah, I'll be right back. Ugh. Am I muted? No. Oh. Oh no! Oh no! What is all of this bunarchy in the chat? What's all the bunarchy in the chat? You know, we should have a system where we reward buns who didn't bunarchy. Yeah. How do I'm trying to invite. But it's not letting me, because probably we need a horde officer to do this. Okay, let me give you your punishment. That's absolutely deserved. Your just punishments for your behavior. Shaking your butt, throwing money around. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, some of these I've already told you, so it's not gonna work. What's the best way for a rogue to kill a paladin? Pickpocket his hearthstone. Why did the paladin cross the road? The chicken was kiting him. This is okay. Okay, how about... Okay, how about... Who won the neck decorating contest? It was a tie. Yep. Well, what do you call an elephant in a telephone booth? Stuck. Why did the chicken cross the playground to get to the other slide? Okay. Why don't fish play basketball? Because they're scared of the net. That was okay. That wasn't that bad. Okay.
It says, what do you call a healer
Where'd
that
my
caught up to
cookie?
the group too late? A necromancer.
Oh, that's dark. That's grim, man. That's grim. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we're talking about the amazing new housing feature coming to World of Warcraft that I am absolutely thrilled and delighted about. I don't know if I've looked through these threads completely yet, so I was just chill. It's just fun to talk about this because I'm really excited about it today. Family Dog, thank you so much for the 6-month resub. You're the best. Thank you so much for your support of the stream. We do have a new sub goal up for if I reach 1,000, then I will let chat decide my I'll let chat decide my shaman's race, of any race that can be a shaman, and I'll stick with it for at least a couple weeks on EU shaman. Yeah. FXC bad, but all good. It's more like FSV housing bad, WoW housing good. That's the discussion for today. Basically it. What do you call a fast zombie? A zombie? I like that. I like that one. That's good. Zombie. It's funny. But sometimes they're funny. So the video for today's discussion will of course be up on the Zep Live later, but I'm also gonna make a separate video for the WoW channel, which I expect to be ready in a couple of days, about it. Yeah. So, we got 2 video. One is a video from our discussion right now that we're having. The other one is one I already wrote. Like yesterday I got the news, I immediately wrote a video. So I'm gonna record that after the stream today. Is today a mole run kind of day? Ooh, yeah. Definitely. Definitely. FXV is a good game, but its housing system deserves this call out. Yeah, FXV is not a bad game. That's the reason why we're hard on it. If I thought FXV was actually doomed and was just terrible, then I wouldn't waste time trying to, like, campaign for improvements. I would just not have any hope at all. As a longtime FF14 player, it's honestly so well deserved. When a plot becomes available on my server, I'm bidding along with 200 plus more people, and it's just so defeating. We've been wanting instanced housing for years, and like a myriad of other blunders. They just refuse to budge. If you do manage to win, your sub is now locked in forever to keep it from getting repossessed. Yeah, that's on the spectrum of predatory things the game industry does to extract extra money from you. Demolishing your house if you take a break from the game is about as bad as it gets. Yeah. Hi, YouTube. I have a friend who hasn't actively played FF14 since Endwalker's release, and her sub is still going because of her house. She's paid $500 out of fear that she will lose her house in the layer that she and her IRL friends all have homes in. I think, you know, sometimes people will say in a dismissive way that you should, you know, just don't do it. Just give up. Don't keep paying for this. But in a sense, they are kind of right. That you shouldn't pay if you're only, like, if you don't care about it and you're just feeling like strong-armed into keeping that subscription up for fear of losing your house. Like, I think you will feel a sense of relief if you stop that. I say that from experience because I lost mine. And I used to be very attached to my house, and I thought I would never get rid of it. But after I did, it was like a burden off of me. I felt, okay, that's something I don't ever have to worry about anymore. It's not always gonna be hanging over me anymore. Yeah. I'm not too proud to admit that our FF14 house kept my wife and I subscribed to that game longer than we actually wanted to be. The decision to let it go and allow the house to be demolished was ultimately for the best. But I'd be lying if I tried to say it didn't sting. Yeah, I think it's pretty damaging for the long-term health of the game because you just feel like, well, I've lost my house, and now if World of Warcraft is going to offer you a house that doesn't go away... Yeah. Well, this is happening at the end of the year, so they still have some time to fix their housing in 14, but I don't think it's gonna happen. To be honest, it feels like someone with sunk cost fallacy, deflecting anger at themselves for a dumb decision at Square Enix. Yeah, I agree. I think it's not right to direct the anger at yourself and, like, think that it's your fault. It's just a shitty system. Yeah. It creates the feeling of I'm not here because I want to be. I'm here because I have to be. That's kind of ironic because I know that when a lot of WoW players came over to FF14 in the Exodus, that was a big thing that we used to repeat all the time. We would say, because
Did I
at the
miss WoW
time,
housing article react? Some Blizzard writer who most likely lost his FF14 house and couldn't buy it back, woke up and shows violence montage.
Alistair, thank you so much for the 6-month resub. I think you're right. Blizzard dev lost his FF14 house and was just like, I'm done. Like, we're gonna improve this. I know a lot of them have been playing FF14. But I mean, look, shouldn't that be happening with FF14 devs too? Don't they play the game and have houses? This is such a crazy thing too, because a lot of times we'll have FF players be like, you know what's really good about FF? It's that you can take breaks. That you can take breaks. That's what's so good about it. That's my favorite thing about it. They let you take breaks. Unless you want to keep your house. I mean, I have no interest in F14 anymore, but I'm scared to lose my house. Lost one in Shadowbringers and I just got it back for Dawn Trail. I should just let it go, but I don't want to again. I did it with my friend who got me into FF14 originally. We both had houses, and together we made the decision to just let it go. Yeah. Because it felt really manipulative. But I understand. I understand that it's not an easy choice. Like, it's sad. Ultimately, it's your money, and you can do whatever you want to with it. Rip the housing band-aid off, you'll feel better. I've honestly been subbed to FF without being able to get the new expansion just for my house. FC members have helped me and bought me subs just to help me keep my house while I haven't been playing. Because it's an Ishgard, a plot number that means a lot to me. I should probably let it go. But I put so much effort into it. Ultimately, no one can make this decision for you. No one can tell you if you should or shouldn't. We can only tell you our experiences with letting it go. Like, okay, here's a question. Have any of you let go of your house, but you regretted doing that? You regretted doing it later. And you wish that you hadn't. That's the question. I think it will be easier if you have a house in World of Warcraft. Yeah. Like right now it might be hard. But what? But what if you get a really, really sick house with a neighborhood and plot in WoW? It like, I feel like that might ease the blow a little bit. Housing coming to WoW. So this is the big discussion for today for those of you who are coming in a little bit late. World of Warcraft, Blizzard, has just posted an absolutely bombshell update about housing that is coming to World of Warcraft in the fall of this year with the upcoming expansion Midnight. They said that they are going to be adding neighborhoods, just like FF14 has, like wards. There will be a plot system. However, this is going to be an infinitely scaling system. So every single person will be able to have a house. If you want a house, you can have a house. No exorbitant requirements or high purchase costs, no lotteries, no onerous upkeep. And if your subscription lapses, don't worry, your house doesn't get repossessed. This is a big reason why this is a gigantic topic here on this channel today, because this is absolutely a dig at FF14, and I'm a content creator for both games, so I felt like it was really important to spend time on this today. Your houses are shared account-wide with all your different characters, being able to come and go as you see fit. Also, their decor sounds like the decor collection is going to be, and it's account-wide too. And so it's going to be like any other collectible that you can get in World of Warcraft, and just pick up and everyone can use it. Instead of it hogging up inventory space, it's another thing you won't have to worry about at all. Here's some concept art for the Horde Zone, and it might look really familiar to some of you who are used to Final Fantasy XIV. You can see the plots here that look just like... There's a plot, there's a plot, there's a plot. And you can have public neighborhoods of 50 plots. There's also private neighborhoods you can create with your friends or with your guild if you want to. So this is kind of huge. Yes. Yes. You don't have to hold 20 partitions in your bag. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. I think if this is the thing that might make it easier for some people to move away, like just move away from their house they feel obligated to remain subbed for in 14. And I'm talking specifically about people that are only subscribed to FF14 for the house and are not interested in the game right now. Obviously that doesn't apply to everyone, but there are a lot of people in that case who are really being victimized by a malicious business practice. And I think it's going to be easier to sever that cord if you can move over to a nice little plot with the neighborhood features and maybe an improvement on those features in World of Warcraft. This is just the Horde Zone concept art. We haven't seen the concept art for the Alliance Zone yet, but I'm expecting it's going to be pretty good because I like this. I think it's very, you know, it's supposed to be reminiscent of the starting zones. It's supposed to, the point is that it's supposed to feel like places that already feel like home to you. They said these starting points is what they chose because of how iconic they are for their respective factions and how much they feel like home to so many players already, with the Alliance Zone being inspired from Elwyn Forest, Westfall, and Duskwood. So it's awesome. I think it's really, really nice. It's really nice. There's the Ashara section of the Horde area, you know, this like eternal autumn. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So at the start, there's going to be 2 zones only. There's going to be the Horde Zone and there's going to be Alliance Zone. But from what I understand, they said that the zones are, putting it bluntly, zones are a lot of work. We'd rather do a great job with a small number of zones than do a passable job on a large number. That's why the only 2 at the start. And when they say small number of zones, I think that what this means is that they're going to add more zones over time. They said this is an evergreen feature that they're going to be iterating on for the coming patches and coming expansions. It's like a feature that's always going to be in the game, and it's a long-term commitment that they're making. So I would expect that they'll add more zones in the future. Yeah. I can't wait. Want my house to look like... Oh, you think of farm in Westfall with chickens. You could have a harvest reaper outside. You need farm. I think it would be so cozy. But I wonder if it's going to be 1 per account. Demolished my large and Manduin this week and moved back to Ether. 0 regrets, and I don't plan on trying for a new house. At least a real-life mortgage gets paid off eventually. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I wanted to take a break from 14 and try WoW for a change. I've always been hesitant though, because what I've heard about some players. Is it new player friendly? Well, I would recommend you should just go ahead and join our guild, Only Buns, the community guild for this channel, because we have an exceptionally high number of new players in it. We have a lot of people that have never played WoW before or who haven't played in like 10 years. So it's really nice for that reason. People are It's not elitist. I'll put it that way. Yeah, just join our guild for real. Like, we'll have the guild neighborhood whenever this feature comes out. And I can genuinely say this is the best guild I've ever been in my life. I'm really happy. It's awesome. Like, we always got stuff to do together. Hope in the future we get a district in in Grizzly Hills. Oh man, it's fun to think about other zones that they could use as inspiration in the future. To join our guild, you can search for OnlyFans in the guild finder. Or you can, oh, the community finder posting expired. Oh shit. I forgot to update it. Okay, I updated it. You can ask for an invite in our Discord. You can join our Discord and in the Warcraft channel. You can let us know your character name, your server name, and your region, and we will get you in because we have guilds for EU and NA. We got it, but we got it all covered. Yeah. Yeah, it might not have been in Community Finder earlier because I forgot to update it. I forgot. My bad. Yeah, it's the foolproof way is just let us know your character name, server name, and region in Discord. And we'll get you in that way. This post specifically says that you can have your horde characters using your Elwyn Forest house and vice versa. Oh, is it vice versa? Wait a minute. I think you're right. Yes. While it's not possible for your human character to buy a house in the Horde zone, your troll character in the same warband can, and then your human can use it as if it were their own. So does this mean that you can buy only one house per account that your whole warband uses? Or what does that actually mean? That's a little vague. It says your houses are shared. Oh, houses. Houses. Plural. Holy shit. Your houses are also shared amongst your warband, with your different characters being able to come and go as you see fit. Yes, dude. Housing rewards are shared across your warband. Yes, houses plural. I like that. Man, how are they gonna handle this? Like, from a technical perspective, as an FF14 player, this is so difficult for me to understand. I'm like, okay. Okay. If you can buy every house in the neighborhood, will you have public neighborhoods that are just flooded with the same person and all of their... Surely they better think about that. Don't let players abuse the system when the code is not spaghetti. They really, really wanted to come for Final Fantasy. They sure did. Yeah. That's something I always liked about Elder Scrolls Online, is the ability to have houses all over the world. Oh man, do you think that they're gonna... Okay, well this article, importantly, this article also went into, like, the the cash shop aspect of this, which I appreciated. They said there's been discussions on whether housing will be pay to play / win or not. We've been very aligned in our internal conversations that housing is designed to be primarily player first and not revenue first. Housing will offer hundreds and hundreds of decorations and house customizations via in-game rewards, but will also offer a smaller number of items in the cash shop as well. This is just like how transmogs and pets are currently handled in game versus the shop. But my question is, will they do what Elder Scrolls Online does and sell a house type? No. Elder Scrolls Online is really crazy with it because they'll sell like an entire mansion and land, like a whole island they'll sell you for like $100. So I don't think this is possible with this system to go that crazy with it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they put like housing exteriors, premium housing exteriors. I'm thinking about what will be the macro transactions versus microtransactions here, because a couch is a microtransaction probably. But what would a macro transaction look like? Yes. Player first and not revenue first. Why I get this also a jab at Square Enix for selling housing decorations on the store? I don't know. I don't know if it was, because in Square Enix, in Final Fantasy XIV, you can make furnishings with crafting profession. And I really hope that's something that we can do in this system as well. I would love to be able to, you know, use professions to make extra things. Have they said where these new zones will be in the world? Is an island gonna pop up off the coast of Durotar? I mean, usually that's what they do, right? Every time there's a patch, they find a new fucking island. Like, how many new islands are there? Like, we've got to have the worst naval explorers in the universe in Azeroth, because they cannot find all these islands. Like, who is making this map, for real? Like, Siren Isle is another island that just appeared. I wouldn't be surprised. But they didn't specifically say where it's gonna be on the map. But this looks like the normal Durotar coast. Like maybe just north of Orgrimmar, somewhere around there. Will you be my neighbor? I think oh my god, it's hammering. I'm sorry, we got construction going on at my house right now. I think the biggest question about private neighborhoods is whether or not they will be cross-faction. They said guilds can have neighborhoods, but guilds can be cross-faction now. I think that the way that this will work is whoever creates the neighborhood will determine which zone it is in. Because you can only get a house in one zone. Oh, but then again, I think they did address this. They said it's not just warbands that cross factional lines, but friendships as well. So you'll be able to live in or visit your friends or guildmates' houses and their neighborhoods with minimal restrictions regarding faction. While it's not possible for your human character to buy a house in the Horde zone, your troll character in the same warband can. I bet that what they'll do is, for a private neighborhood, just let that be anybody of any faction can buy the house in the private neighborhood, because that's kind of the point of the private neighborhood. But that's a good question. That is a really good question that I wish they would clarify. Human beings have been around for thousands of years. We only finished finding islands like 200 to 300 years ago. That's a good point, Night Coffee. That's a really, really good point. Fred made a few alts and just bought 6 side by side. So he has a mansion just split into 6 sections. Okay. I guess that was on like Maduin or something. Neighborhood is what we'll have. Yes. Let me change this song. I don't really like the Temple of the Moon music, to be honest with you. It's not tavern music. Doesn't really count. As a longtime 14 player that stepped away after Dawn Trail's release and had a medium personal and small FC plot, it was well-deserved shade. God called out. have a large in FF14. This article made me breathe a sigh of relief. Literally nothing could be worse than that housing system. But it seems like they took the best elements of it while being very careful to avoid the rest. Yeah, it does seem like they are gonna go with the best of both worlds. These look insane, but the article itself and the fact that there's an official WoW account on Reddit that brings us these news. Oh my god! Wait, it's the devs here! In the comments! This is It was posted by officially devs? Warcraft team! Official World of Warcraft! Oh my god, a dev posted it! They're on the Reddit reading the comments! What the? It's Ian. Is it? I doubt it. Doesn't Ian do other stuff? Oh my god. This is so cool. Oh my god, devs! Yeah! That's my reaction. Exactly. Oh my god. Officially, there's some people make a game. This article kind of hints at it, but I'm dying to know. Surely you guys looked at some of the other MMO's housing. No, they didn't. Props on steering clear of ESO's $100 houses. Don't tell them that! What if they didn't know about it? Shh! Don't tell them that. Stop! Don't give them ideas. Shh. Damn it. It's ruined. It's ruined. It's Jover now. Thanks for not having a lottery. Ticks all the boxes on paper. Now let's see the implementation. I'm hoping that we can trade plots with neighbors. Oh, yeah. I like that. If I'm tired of my beach house, I can walk to the guy with the waterfall front and suggest a trade. You could just move. It looks like you can freely move. So you could move to a different neighborhood where you can get that plot. Yeah. This is great. I was afraid it'd be solo instance like Garrisons, but this is more like FXV's style of housing, only better. There's not the restrictions of getting a house like how FFXV has, and it won't get repossessed if your subscription lapses. Housing is so fun as a social activity. I love touring housing builds in FXV and private servers. Oh man, it's gonna be so cool because we can have housing contests, we can have block parties, we can have house creeping like I used to do in FF14, where I would just go into random people's houses that happen to have the door unlocked, and we would judge their interior decor. So I guess you want to make sure there's a way to lock your house to keep Zeplas out of your house. That might be a thing to keep in mind. Yes. I think that this is actually revolutionary for the MMO space, but I admit I don't know about the new Guild Wars 2 housing. I know Guild Wars 2 just put in player housing. Is there anybody in the chat that can tell me if it's better or worse than the system that is being planned for World of Warcraft? Because I actually don't know anything about it, but I've heard good things about it. Is it better than FF14's? Like, what's the... Is it instanced? I don't think it's got neighborhoods. Yes. Basically FFXIVs, but with a way to avoid there being a lack of housing crisis in a video game, which was always a pretty damn goofy thing. Blizzard really did say, what if FF14's housing didn't suck dick? True. They did, yeah. That's what happened. XIV is one of the best housing building systems in an MMO. No, it doesn't, though. It really doesn't, though. Because you have to use third-party tools to move stuff around, and you can make something that looks pretty nice using these third-party tools. But when you do, what you end up with is like, okay, let's say you have a house with 5 rooms in it, and you have a really complex and intricate build for your house, like interior, tons of interior things. What ends up happening is you can go into the house and there's one big room that looks amazing and it's very detailed, but then every other room in that house is inaccessible. That is because the way that people build these things in an FF14 house is by glitching items through the walls and floors, making the other rooms unusable because they're just like, it's like, have you ever seen the back of an embroidery? This is probably the... You ever seen the back of an embroidery? And it looks like shit, right? This is what goes on with, so, like, the front room is really beautiful and incredible and amazing. But then the other rooms are like... They're like that. You can't... They're unusable. It's just glitched crap everywhere. So, it's not great. It's not... It's just players are very creative. They're very resourceful. And players, they do their best with a broken system. And I would be happy to see players what they're capable of with a system that works. Yeah. The creativity of the housing scene is absolutely insane. Yeah, it is. Guild Wars 2. If you've seen Guild Wars 2's guild halls, I have. Their housing is based on the same system. There's a ton of freedom in placing decorations. But a lot of the basic things, like the actual house, is a pre-built static layout. That's the same for everyone. So I wonder if that's what they're going to do here. I bet it's going to be you collect different exteriors. I hope they think of all the problems coming with such neighborhoods. What if half the players stop playing, don't participate for progress, or even troll? You can move. What if one player disturbs the peace for all the others? Can you make that player move? Can you evict one player from your neighborhood? Can you force them to move? Because
Hi, Zepla. How are you? Wow, 19 months. Just
That's a
wanted to
good
say
question.
Thanks for all of the fun and entertainment. Keep up the fun.
it's a very good question. Hold on a minute. I just noticed that my Streamlabs app is not working. Sometimes it gets stuck. Because I heard the alert, but I didn't see it on my app because it's broken. Yeah. Leonidas Darkstar, thank you so much for the 19-month resub. 19 months, just want to say thanks for all the fun. Well, time flies when you're having fun. Thanks for being here, and thank you for your support. I do appreciate you very much. I hope WoW will have placement features like EQ too. You can resize objects. Ooh, yes! Yes! Float, sync, rotate items within the game's default system. Yeah, I do hope that that is the case. Can you move? How often can you move? What if none of the plots you like are free? I think that you will be able to get the plot you like. Because there's infinite public wards, right? Okay, but what if... Okay, what if everybody wants the same plot? And so you have to create a new neighborhood for each person because everybody wants the exact same plot. So you have, for 50 people, 50 neighborhoods. Basically, how will players break this? How will players go out of their way to make this technically impossible? Do you have the option to take your favorite spot in a new empty neighborhood and have to hope for people to join it? I think so. This seems like it. If a guild or community is breaking apart, can you somehow take your progress elsewhere? What kind of progress? Or the classic breakup question. Who gets to keep the house? What? It's your account. It's your house. Will they take actions on streamers slash YouTubers slash communities who charge money for letting someone join their neighborhood? Oh, I haven't even thought about that. What the fuck? These are really good questions. These are really good questions. Thank you. Gotta think about these things, Blizzard. Can you imagine charging an entry fee? They're coming for me? Yeah, now you gave me an idea. I demand 1 gold per person. This post is cooking. Pay to enter? Why would you care about streamers asking money to join their neighborhood? Oh, like a sub-only neighborhood? Oh my god!
Minion 3309 says, will I get kicked out of
Sub
my
only.
neighborhood if I let my hunter pets wander over into the neighbor's yard and poop?
Yes. I think so. Yeah, I think... Yeah, you can't let your... You can have, like, a really bad neighbor with their hunter pet. That's so funny. My neighbor has, like, a giant Kodo who came over to my yard, and there's a gigantic pile of Kodo poo-poo every day, and he never picks it up either. Yes, sub-only guild. Tier 3 subs only. That's insidious. As long as it's for gold and not real money. They won't break any rule. I won't do that. Okay. I thought about it, but I won't do that. Plot. I wonder how often we can move. Yeah. Does each character get a... Basically, you have to ask yourself, how will the community turn something nice into something terrible, right? They will find ways, and Blizzard is gonna have to move fast. It would be funny if someone goes offline, their yard starts growing weeds, looking abandoned over time. It's kind of happens in FF14 with your Chocobo stable, right? If you don't clean the stable, it starts looking really shit. Oh, and also you'll have like dead plants in your garden. Shows you haven't been there in some time. Wow. If you deliver on no barrier to entry, exciting public and private housing neighborhood options, and completely customizable decoration, placing items where you want. This could be a wonderful evolution of the FFXIV housing system. I'm so excited for this, and I haven't even played in months. I will say that my most jaded WoW friends are actually excited for this feature. I happen to have quite a few extremely jaded friends that I played WoW with back in the 3,000 years ago. early days. And even they are like cautiously optimistic about this, and I would have never expected that. It's this is how you earn back trust over time. It kind of feels like going home for a lot of us. Yeah. You need to donate to Zepla's fund to join the neighborhood. Oh my god. I'll donate to the Only Buns neighborhood to grab a spot. Then again, Since I am in the guild, don't be too harsh. Don't worry, I won't do that to you. But it's only 50 plots per neighborhood. So we would need multiple private neighborhoods to fit everybody. If like our NA guild has almost 1,000 people in it. So we need a lot of neighborhoods. Do they know that? Yeah. If you don't let randos in your neighborhood, how will you have a true Baron's chat? I agree. I think I would prefer to be in a public neighborhood, to be real with you. Let a bunch of random people be in there. It's gonna be cool. I like Baron's chat because I like chaos. They should make a new profession, like carpenter, to make new furniture. Be an architect. Sell my services like an XIV to earn some gold. Yes. That would be so cool. I don't think infinite instanced neighborhoods are going to be an issue. Think about how many instances Blizzard generates across all versions of WoW and Diablo. Plus all the sharding and layers. They got this down. I agree. I trust them on this for them to be able to make this announcement so far in advance of it. So confidently. I think that they know that they can handle it. Fantasy in 2004. You get to kill a dragon. Fantasy in 2024. You get to own your own home. Hey, it's not 2024 anymore, buddy. It's 2025. Yeah. What's gonna determine who gets which plot of land? You pick. And then you'll be sharded away from those that pick that same plot. Absolutely. Might be the first time I meet new people in WoW in ages. I think it's gonna be a nice way to meet people when you're not in a sweat scenario. Like you're just chilling at home, you know? I've made friends in Final Fantasy XIV in the neighborhoods. Walking around the wards. I've met people that way. Just like people who are outside chatting. Like you can just go bother anybody in the ward and ask them questions. Bam, you got a friend. It's that easy. It's that easy. Oh, let us show off legendary weapons in a rack and mounts in a stable. The concept art shows a griffin in an outdoor stable. Oh my god. It's a chocobo house. It is. Wait, this is the concept art for... Oh, for the Alliance Zone. Look at it. It's Gridania. Look. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look up there. Can you see that? Look. That's Gridania. That's where they got that. It really feels like Gridania. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes. So cool. Chocobo Stable. There's Stormwind Gate in the distance. Waterfalls and the... Man, it's so nice. I'm sorry, but the Alliance Zone is gonna be nicer than the Horde Zone, and you know it. Okay, like, I know some of y'all really are into the Horde aesthetic, but this is gonna be such a peak fantasy feel. It's gonna be so good. Eversong Woods housing. Can you imagine? Maybe for midnight. So pretty. Oh my god, so pretty. With the, you know. But I want my alts to be able to be around, hanging around, because that's something you can do on the Elder Scrolls Online. You can have different NPCs. It's not your alts, but you can have different NPCs, like companions you unlock that hang out at your house. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Silver Pine housing could look Seattle-esque. I want Dark Shore. To me, Dark Shore is very Seattle. That's one of the reasons I love Dark Shore. It's misty, it's gray. There's this big coast. Or Faralos in some ways is like that too. Ugh. Kalimdor coasts. Give me a creepy witch house in Fellwood. Well, apparently the Alliance Zone for housing is gonna have some inspiration from Duskwood too. So it's Elwyn, Westfall, and Duskwood are the inspo for the Alliance Zone, and this is all the art we have of this one so far, but it's gonna be so cozy. I'm so excited! Show me a video, please. I want to see a big armored, overly large, shoulder-padded brute tending the flower bed. Yes. Justvar would be amazing. Like Borealis. Cozy Pandaria Zone. There is infinite possibilities here. The Alliance Zone will be way better than Horde, unless they let us pick an undead theme. Well, not yet, but extra zones will come in the future. Here's the concept art for the rugged decor, aka Horde decor. It has so many tusks in it. God. You got so many tusks. Tusks. On everything in the whole damn house, man. You love tusks. Yeah. It's cool, though. There's a cactus outside, I think. That looks like a cactus apple. It's cute. And then here's the folk decor, which I think is nicer. I would rather live here, personally, but, you know, that's why I'm an Alliance player at heart. No one's gonna be running content for like a month. That's true. We'll just be fixing our houses. That is true, dude. No one's gonna be doing anything. Like raids? Who gives a shit? I'm just gonna I will tend my little garden and have my little cozy fire, and I'll have some mead, and I'll eat an apple and stuff. To be fair, the Horde concept art shows much greater variety of plot types. Clifftop, waterfall edge. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. This is really solid concept art for visualizing the neighborhood system and how plots will look. And it's got like, is this snow? Or is this more like Thousand Needles? Like Shimmering Flats type situation. Looks kind of like that. You can live in the Barrens. Like this just looks like you can actually live in the Barren. There's a lot of solid looking plots. Like here at this little cave area down here looks really nice. By the waterfall here. I appreciate the terraced. I think with the terraces, you're not gonna feel like you got a crap plot. Like this one over here by the Ajara forest is gonna be really gorgeous too. Like it can be really high up, which is also cool. I think that each one has got something kind of cool going for it. Like, obviously this is just concept art, so take it with a grain of salt, but I appreciate where they're going with it. That each home might have something special. It's cute. What do you mean there's a raid? I need to move this sofa. Maybe you need to raid to unlock like a super good couch though. What if they do that where, okay, you clear a mythic raid boss and you get a bed that you can use to rest in after that. Special bed. What I'm hoping for is if we can do private housing, that they find a way to not have empty plots all over the place. And instead, blend the environment where the plot would be with the nature around it. Like the garrison was before we built it. Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. That is a really good point. So that it doesn't look like shit when it's not a completely filled out neighborhood. That's a solid take. Just have it, like, if somebody wants to build a plot there, then have it clear out the area. Clear out the trees, but have like a pre-built version of that area that's still got, you know, it looks nice, isn't just like a square that's empty. I think that's a good idea. Will it be like Final Fantasy? Or get a plot in the real world? Yes. It's a neighborhoods. 50 plots each. It does kind of look like the Salt Flats looking at Highjaw. I think it is, because this is kind of like a blending of all of those zones in the area. So this is like very Thousand Needles vibes, but also Salt Flats. It's kind of a mix of all these things, which I think is really cool. Valdrakken. Oh man, I love a Valdrakken house. Will you do mythic rating for a nice rug or a new TV? Oh my god. Imagine, like, you can have your alts in your house and you have your monk alt who's just sitting on the couch drinking a beer, craft beer that he just made. That's all he does. I think that would be so fun. Maybe meditating. I think they're gonna have the 2 zones to start, but you'll have more decor themes than just horde tusks or cottagecore. Yeah, I think so. Their priority in the beginning is giving you hundreds and hundreds of decor items to choose from and collect. They understand that we like collecting things. Scroll down further, you can see the beachfront properties. Oh yeah. We got beachfronts at the bottom. We got the house in the canyon that's dark down there. Houses in the plateau with the palm trees. Yeah, there's a lot of variety. Which is the play here. You don't want anyone to feel like they got the short end of the stick and a shitty plot. Moving to Northern. I feel like they gotta have Northern zones in the future. Wait, no neighborhoods in the mall? I wouldn't put it past them. You know, in Elder Scrolls Online, you can get a house in Cold Harbor, which feels a lot like the mall. And it's pretty cool, actually. Yeah, but I think it costs money. Only Corthia. No! No, never. Never again. I've done that. Oh, there's an ad. There's an ad going. Is that, what if they make apartments in Torghast? Hardcore? I don't know if I'm gonna do hardcore today. Because I need to record a video for the WoW channel. And, basically yesterday I was, working on a different video for the WoW channel for most of the day.
Says my death knight gonna live in a cigarette and my Forsaken gonna have the finest house in Undercity sewer.
Yes! I would like to see some really edgy metal housing options. What was I gonna say? Yesterday I was working on a different video for the WoW channel, and then I got the news about this happening like at about 2 o'clock, and I had to completely drop everything I was working on before that and work on the video about this because it's a really big deal that affects, you know, it's a big deal for Final Fantasy players and WoW players, and you know, I have a presence in both communities now, so I felt like it was important to get into. So today I'm probably going to record that as soon as I'm done streaming here, and I want to, well, I still have a little time before I need to do that because I want to do that before I go to the gym. I wanted to also, I'm sure we're going to be talking about this a lot tomorrow too, and in the coming weeks. Tomorrow we have the Final Fantasy XIV live letter to discuss, so I'll be covering that at the start. We'll go over everything that was said in the live letter first thing. Yeah, we'll do a live letter TLDR straight away at the start of tomorrow's stream. But I wanted to do Love is in the Air to try to get a shot at the mount, because for the first time they clarified that your first kill of the day on your account has the increased drop rate, so you want to do it at least once every day. They also said that every day that you make an attempt to get the mount, your drop rate gets better. So the more days that you try, the better luck you will have. So I was wondering if y'all wanted to do that. Crown boss? Yeah, I'd like to do that and maybe do some moling also. Time walking bee. Yeah, I did get my time walking buff already for this week. Yeah. We could do levers also. Okay, crown boss. I'm inviting Have Cal. Get you in here. And of course, as I mentioned earlier today, if you're looking for a guild in World of Warcraft, I would love for you to join mine. Only Buns is new and it is thriving. I'm happy to say that it's doing great on EU and NA, and there's a lot of new players. There's a lot of returning players in these guilds, so you don't need to feel worried that, like, if you're new, because, like, everyone is. Not everyone, but a lot of people are. It's EU and NA. We got both. We have guilds on both. Okay, Crown Chemical Co. Have you are tanking? Let's go. This is like... Wow. Was that really loud? Oh my god. I think it was. I think it was. Tally's been trying to get Love Rocket for 16 years on dozens of alts and still doesn't have it. Oh my god. Well, I try to do once a day, at least. Well, I think it's the best odds you'll have is for your first shot of the day. Every day. Every day. It's your best bet. Yeah. EU on what server? The server... I'm on Sporigar, but actually your server doesn't matter at all anymore. You can join the guild from any server. So it doesn't... It's no longer a thing. Faction also doesn't matter anymore. For retail... Okay. Oh, man. Oh, but I got a toxic wasteling. I got a minion. Apparently I had one already, but I got this weird slime thingy. Alright. I mean, it's loot. Wait, did you get? No. Do you want to go do moling? Let's mole. Mole me up. Let me turn on the music for the game, finally. You can get it on subsequent tries, but it goes back to the base drop rates. Oh. Well, I wouldn't bother with it, really. I think it's too much work to worry about. Okay. Who wants moling? And wants to go mole. I'm hearthing back, but I don't hear any sound from the game. Like, my hearth isn't making any noise. Why? That's weird. Mole me up. Mole me up, let's go. Yeah, they had clarified the drop rate yesterday. Moling? What? It's moling. Okay, so moling is a boss. It's like a world boss we summon and kill in Ringing Deeps. It has a chance to drop a mole mount. Mole me up. Okay, Daggy, and Lento, and Have. Oh!
Even though the core way is
I have, gave you assist.
there is still plenty of construction work and rubble clearing.
How many can join? Infinite number. There's no limit. Anyone can join for this. Whee! Everyone and anyone can join for it. We're usually pretty lucky.
Someone didn't get the message.
God.
These are earthen resources. We need
I like getting mounts for everyone in the guild. The goal is to get everyone mold. Is the mold goal. Thanks. Any mo molars? Is there FF14 community that play retail WoW to experience it together? Yes, that is the guild that I'm in. But it's a mix of FF14 players and people that just play WoW, obviously, because it's a WoW guild. But I know there's several people that do play. They go back and forth. Yeah. It just makes sense because man, I love both games a lot. I'm at level 5. I'm at level 1. I'm ready at level 1. Me and Peepo are ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of our levers are covered. Okay, so if you If you are not assigned to a lever, you can wait at this location that I've pinned in the chat. And you can chill there. Okay. Ready, check. Zyza's a little out. Okay. Just let me know when you're ready. And we'll go for it. Once Zepla makes her night elf house, we can throw engineering bombs at it. No, you better not! To reenact the burning of Teldrassil. No bunarchy is allowed in the neighborhood. None. You're finishing up theater. Oh. Well, we could do another after this one. 20 seconds? Oh, we'll just wait. I don't care. It's 20 seconds. Yeah. I wish WoW would come to console like FF14. I got friends who would definitely play if that were the case. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. Eventually. Now, because of Microsoft. I wouldn't be surprised. But we will have to wait and see on that. I know that you can use controller with it, but a lot of people just don't have the gaming PC these days. Mm-hmm. Controller support and the ownership. Yeah, because of Microsoft, I can see it happening. It's more likely now than it's ever been. We can summon. Yeah, we'll summon. Annie just got to level 60 in hardcore in our guild. Well, in the OnlyFans guild. Using controller. I should be level 60 next week. If everything goes to plan. I'm level 47. I was not able to level it all yesterday because I've been working on video. That's what Wednesday is for, by the way. You're probably not going to see me online on Wednesdays because I'm using that day to make content for YouTube. Yep. I'm doing a stupid experiment, leveling an earthen without killing a single mob. Just exploring. Wow, that's awesome. You're already level 61. That's awesome. Yeah, so the earthen race has a racial that lets you get 200% XP from exploration. And so it's kind of a unique way to level a new character. You can just fly around and explore the world and level that way. I've seen a lot of people do that. Not killing a single mob. Just exploring. It's kind of neat. Yeah. Surprisingly effective. Lento did the same thing. I'll do another ready check. Is there room for more? Oh yeah. It says cannot find player. NIXDR Storm Rage? Oh, are you on NA? We're on EU at the moment. Yep. We're also on NA. We have the guild on NA too. But currently I'm on EU. Yeah. I usually start the stream in EU, and then later on I'll swap over to NA because of the time zones. Usually most people NA are at work when I start, so this is why usually I start with EU, and then later in the day we do NA. I loved leveling in WoD, where you got XP from chests and collectible items. It was super enjoyable. flying around getting all this sweet XP. Can you not do that now? I mean, I guess you can as an earthen. As an earthen, you can. Okay, I'll wait for y'all to be ready. So what we're doing right now is we're gonna summon this world boss, Lurker of the Deeps. And it has a chance to drop this mount right here. Old Mole Rufus. My goal is to get this mount for everyone in the guild. And we have gotten it for a lot of months. Quite a few. Yeah. He is so cute. Look, if you're gonna be doing the Underdark expansion, which is what the War Within is, you need a mole mount. Okay? It's just necessary. What do you think you're gonna go down into the caves and caverns without a mole helping you? A barrel of beer on your back? Like, come on. So we're gonna help you. You are moleless, but one day, yep. Yeah, the mount, he's so cute. I think I can get another one actually from Reputation. The mount that is still eluding me that I really want is from the daily quests in Hallowfall. The Lynx that's gray. Oh my god. I have done so many of these damn quests and it's just, god. So this mount I really, really, really want bad. God, I want it very much. It's from Hallowfall, these quests here, around here, that give you, satchels as a reward. Satchels have a chance to drop the Lynx kitty cat mount. And it's a small chance. Who needs a summon? Oh. Yeah, 1, 2, 3 if you want to summon. Kitty is so cute. I would kind of plan rares and treasures into quest routes in WoD. And it kind of made for a lot of fun. I appreciate them putting these little hidden things in the map, right? It's makes the open world more exciting to be in. I mean, that's what we're doing right now. This is open world content. Okay, is everyone good? Let's do a ready check. I think we are good to go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We have summoned it. Let's go! It's here. Woo! It's here. It's here. Go, 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 go. I'm on my way. I'm the slowest bun. Because I go from the furthest way away. I'm trying to speed up. Every time I try to get here faster. But I'm always last. I got Belladar. And the mole on EU. Last one here is a rotten Zepla. Hey! Hey! Okay, here he is. He is spawned. And everyone else is here too. I'm pulling. Good luck, Buns. May the mole be ever in your favor. I wish you luck. Good luck, good luck, good luck. No. We are moleless. We are moleless. Shit. We can go again if you want. Again? Sure. Okay. I'll swap. Did I ever tell you how much I love you? Oh no! Peace and happiness. I actually didn't know that you like peace. That's news. God. Speed. Okay. Swap over. This is the character that I will allow chat to change to any race that you want if we reach our sub goal. Anything. You decide. Or we'll keep it Draenei. It's up to you. Listen to me. Spain. I will protect a peace my father built. My father's legacy of peace. Papa. Papa. I have a brain rot. Zep, do you have a couple all-time favorite mounts? Yes. Like every
Thinking about those
Zeplamon. No.
Oh, it makes my head feel molten. And that makes me think of my cinder.
Zeplamon. No. Okay, invite me. Who's doing invites? I guess me. Press 1. Wait. Wait. We need someone who has lever on their server. I'll go over the mounts in a second. I can't because I need to get to the I need to make sure that we create the group on a server where the lever is physically present, because there's a cooldown after you summon the boss for the server, but you can start the group on a server that has
Still
it.
a good bun, aren't I?
Hey, Southboy B, thank you very much for the 58-month resub. Of course. Still a good bun. Thank you for that. That's a resub with Amazon Prime. Did you know that you can subscribe to the channel for free if you have Amazon Prime already? Yes, it's pretty insane since Amazon owns Twitch. This is the thing that you can do if you happen to have Amazon Prime, which is a pretty nice thing to have. You know, it's pretty handy. You can use a free sub over here. My favorite mount that I got recently. Okay, I have no lever on this server. Wait, I'm not in the right spot. Am I? Yeah, I have no... Okay, you have a lever?
Thank you, Optimus Prime.
Yay. Okay, you have a lever on your server. There we go. Lever is here. Mold me up. Okay, let me start inviting people. can make Daggy the lead. Jalhala88, thank you so much for subbing with Amazon Prime. I really appreciate that. That does help the channel immensely. Thank you. Can you check guild invite requests? Oh, sure. Are you on EU or NA? Caribulus. Oh, I found you. Got you. We got you. Okay, mold me up. I'll make you assist. Convert to raid. Assist. Okay, Daggy, you're assist. Press 1 to get mold. Yeah. Get mold up. Nice. Zep, did you know there's a mount in the game that can talk? What? No way! No, I didn't know that. Well, here's some mounts that I really like. This one, these Dream Stag mounts from the Emerald Dream. I love these. Also, the cat mounts from Emerald Dream. I got all of these pretty easily and pretty casually. These guys, kind of being alt-tabbed, even, from the game. These are mounts that I got just from planting the seeds in Emerald Dream. So Emerald Dream is a special zone where you can get these purple seeds and plant them in this dirt piles, and there's a chance for them to drop mounts. And I just did this. Like, I would plant the seed, wait 2 minutes for it to, like, grow, click on it. And I was doing this while browsing the internet, so I wasn't even really, like... I did this in the laziest way possible, and I got them all. I got every mount on EU and NA. So the drop rate really isn't that bad for these guys. Yeah, it's something you can do casually when you're supposed to be working. But this is probably one of my faves. Yeah, I really, really like this cat. Very nice. Any molars not in group? Looks like we're good. The Monk Order Hall mount can talk. What? Ban Lu? It doesn't show me. Oh, here we go. This is the Monk Order Hall. It's a tiger that talks to you. That's pretty cool. Oh, I'm at 1. Let's do ready check. Yeah. Every bun's ready.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go. Whee! Fail? We failed. We failed. You're right. We failed. It didn't work. Shit. Shit. I've muted it because I got hammering going on outside. This is going to be pretty annoying to record that video today. What happened? Did we pull on one? Okay. Let's try again. We did not pull at the same time. Let's pull on one.
5, 4, 3,
3, 2, 1. It didn't work. Are we mistiming it? Are we missing a lever? I'm at 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The mole gods have abandoned us. Okay. One sec. Okay. Let's try to figure out what it is. Hi, Ember's Arcade. How are you doing? Am I missing a bun? Preach about peace more. That usually works. Well, guys, there's something really important I have to tell you. Yeah, it's really been bothering me. It's really been upsetting me. It's really important. So the reason I gathered you here today to pull levers. Oh my god, so loud. It's because I really like peas. Is everyone ready?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
We got it. We got it. We got it. We got it that time. Good. Cool. There we go. Preaching about peace actually worked. It did work. You were joking, but... You can still DM the mold god Asmongold on Discord, though. I mean... I don't know if he has mole or mold. We're about to kill a monster. You know what's best for this moment? No. No, 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 no. Okay. Lurker of the Deeps is here. Let's pull. Let's go. Oh my god, you got this song in my head. Why did you do this? I did not get a mole. Did you? Mm-mm. Moleless. Once again. Moleless of Shinovar. Sag. Well, there's always tomorrow. There's always other days. Don't be discouraged. Sometimes we get them, and sometimes we don't. You just never know. Isn't this a great Hearthstone? It's the only way to get bunny ears. Old Mole Rufus eludes us today. Absolutely does. Yes. Okay, well, normally at this point I would probably go into hardcore, but because it is I really need to record a video before I go to the gym. I didn't have time to do that yesterday. Zangetsu. Hey! Thank you! Thank you very much for the 19-month resub. I appreciate you so much. Thank you kindly. Yeah, I'm gonna end so that I can go record a video about this housing situation, which is really exciting news. Next video is going to be about the housing situation. Basically, there's 2 videos that I can expect. One of them is for Zepla, and it's the discussion that we had today. Really about the FFXAV side of things, like my reaction to the news as an FFXAV player, but the World of Warcraft video that I'm going to produce that you can expect on the WoW channel is going to be, you know, from my hype as a WoW player, because I don't think it's really, like, I don't want to use the WoW channel to be a Final Fantasy channel, you know what I mean? Like, we can talk about, I feel like Zepla has a purpose of being really about news, my knee-jerk reactions to things, like reading Reddit comments, this kind of stuff. It's very newsy. It's very like daily in the moment type stuff for Zepla. But the WoW channel is about WoW. And so I think this makes sense. Of course I'm going to mention FF a little bit in it, but I don't want it to be all about FF. There's no need. We're going to cover that on Zepla. So yes, I'm going to get to work on this video now. Zepla is gaming. Thank you. Good luck with the recording despite the noise. Oh my god, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'm going to be so mad if I have a good take. And then, like, in the middle of a sentence, I'm like, so anyway, this housing is really... You have to re-record the thing. God, I know this is going to happen. But I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow at the start of the stream, we're going to go over the live letter. Final Fantasy XIV live letter is at 3 a.m. PST Friday tomorrow, which means that at the normal stream time, we're going to cover it as a TLDR. Go over everything that was talked about, so it's going to be fun to do at the start of the stream before World of Warcraft. Yep. I haven't seen videos about housing yet. No, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Okay, bye. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye. See you tomorrow. Bye.